You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 63. Barney's got the mustache.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show so big it blots out the sun. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Raven Perez.
And I'm Zach Hawkins.
Hey Zach, good to have you on again.
Hey, I live. I'm back from Dimension X.
Craig's got work to do, so he is away on important missions in Dimension X this week, this episode.
He had to
Looking after his own fin
he had to go
babies.
circumcise all the monster cocks. It's a lot of work.
With his teeth.
Pretty specific there, Raven.
It's a lot of work. A lot of monster cocks.
Raven, do you know something we don't?
Trying to keep it vague.
I didn't see this in the group chat.
We got a good one. We got a good one, guys.
Yeah, bold new direction. Again.
It is. You think, like, this new beginning, it's good. It's a good issue. I don't want to jump shit. I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm saying we got, like, a couple different news items. We got some meaty, FINteresting conversation portion.
Well, yeah, we haven't heard from Zach in a while. Zach, what have you been up to lately?
Yeah.
I've been dabbling a bit back and forth. Mainly been focusing on getting some con stuff together. I've been to more Comic Cons this year because I know, Jim, you said you've only been to one.
I've been to
convention
one
before.
Comic Con, and that experience was not the best. Although I did get to meet Erik for 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, well, actually, that's speaking about getting Erik to cons. I've been trying to get it out to all the smaller cons like the Preston Comic Con, Leeds Fort Bubble, to try and get Erik over, because if France and Greece can have him, then why not us? But it's mainly been getting around to some of the bigger ones. Sorry, what was
India
that?
nearly had him. I'm just saying, you can do it, Zach.
Yes. He's going further afield. The problem is, though, is with a lot of the conventions that are here, they have to invite you. It's not like if Erik's in his home turf and he could go to any one state and he'd be welcome. If he's going to come all the way across the Atlantic, he's going to have to make it well worth it.
Right.
So that's.
I remember when he went to
football
Athens,
in
it was
nutshell.
like he turned it into a family vacation. Made a big to-do about it.
Yeah, basically. I saw that. Yeah. And didn't he get to meet his colorist there? or
Yeah,
something?
because he lives there.
Nice.
That's where the
I've
Mighty
just basically
Man
been
shot
banging
came
it
from.
around. It was. That was the origin of it. And it was actually first seen in print at the Athens
Right.
Con. So, damn Europeans. Other than that, just getting by. I've just been doing bits here and there. Nothing specific, and not appearing on the FINcast like I would like to.
Well, you've been missed,
But,
man.
yeah.
You
Good
can
stuff.
make up for it. We got you here today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Turn into Evangelion for a second there. Thank you, everyone.
So let's get on to the news.
Yes.
We got some quick hits, like a lot of little quick items we're gonna hit you with. Number one, our first item of the day: no ant in 2017. Basically, just a Facebook interaction. We got this one from not a huge interaction or announcement or anything, but so nothing hard or set in stone. But basically, Erik said when he was asked by a fan if Ant was still on track for 2017, that no, Ant wouldn't be coming out this year. Possibly next year, but again, no hard commitments on any way or shape or form. Just basically, the real headline here, the real takeaway is Ant missed the ship for 2017, and I blame that amazing 225.
Well, that's true. That probably took,
Massive workload.
workload there, and I think Eric's been doing a lot of cons, so that probably cramped into everything too.
Oh yeah. Cons 225, like it just is a beast.
Gotta self promote.
Got to get it.
Well, I just remember how tired and burnt out he got whilst juggling both Spawn. Because for a while, didn't he say he was on Spawn indefinitely? And then it just turned to that one story arc, or two story arcs?
Yeah, that was the plan when they kicked off. It was question mark.
Yeah.
By the second story arc, those question marks had defined themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want him to get that burnout again. You know, it's good enough that he's doing one book. You know, I actually wouldn't mind it if he did answers like an annual or even a quarter.
I don't think Eric burnt out on it. Eric can do 2 books a month. He's shown that he can.
Oh, yeah. He totally can.
Experience on Spawn in particular made him leave.
Yeah, that was creator differences. That wasn't actually like burnout, because again, like Jim said, he totally can knock out like 2 books a month. Especially if, and he's already previously said that he's going to do in a looser style. So I think the good way to indicate probably, I mean, this is all guesswork. Hell, we don't know. But if you saw on Facebook again, Erik posted all of his Spawn roughs, his originals.
He did, yes.
And so if you look at that, he said that you can basically expect like that from Ant. So even though they were roughs, finger quotes, they weren't that rough. They just weren't as polished as, say, Savage Dragon.
Oh, no, they're still juicy. But it's just, it's not, he's not pouring the hours in. It's more like a side project. I get that. Oh, I didn't realise that there was creative differences on Spawn. That's a shame.
It's coming, though. It's coming. The thing is like, don't lose faith, Ant fans. Ant's on its way. Just not this year. But at any rate.
All right, second bit of news. Erik posted, not a big piece of news, but a couple of episodes back, we talked about the cover to Savage Dragon 228, Return of the Seeker. Very exciting. Erik posted a updated version of the final cover, which basically gave 100% more goatee to Malcolm, because Malcolm is now sporting a goatee.
Love it.
Okay, Malcolm.
You
do you.
Love it. Love it. I'm sorry, but
the goatee is still in fashion in Canada.
That was something that the old man did. Like, he would grow his facial hair out in different ways.
Malcolm wears it better.
Glad to see it.
I kind of hated Dragon's goatee.
Yeah, Malcolm's looks good.
Got the jaw, the underbite.
But yeah, actually we'll talk about it in the next news item, but the cover to 231 dropped, and that had Malcolm with a goatee, so I think Eric's retroactively giving Malcolm a goatee in the book, so he's updating all the covers to have goatees.
Yeah, not to jump ahead too much.
What if it's not just the covers? What if it's like the internal art? He's just going over with a Sharpie. It's going just draw a goatee on every panel.
Well, even in 227, like, you know, he's starting to grow one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you can...
he's got
I'll have to look closer.
Yeah, you can look, but even in 227, the goatee's beginning. So it's kind of cool because, like, you know, even in, like, not just the cover, even on the internal pages, he's starting to grow it already. So it makes sense. It's on its way. Moving right along.
So, moving right on 3 issues, the cover for 231 has dropped, featuring a new potential villain, hero, magical
Very
girl,
pink.
strangely. Very, very pink, very Maho Shoujo in Erik's traditional style, i.e. frilly thongs. I like the design, but I honestly, I said this before we started recording, I made the mistake of thinking it was Maxine before you guys pointed out that she doesn't have freckles. So, new character?
New character.
I suspect it's a new character. Her design does kind of raise into question, is she a hero? Is she a villain? Is this a hero misunderstanding brawl? Or is she just, like, the biggest bad boss of Canada?
On my little Twitter poll I did, amazing. I asked and the people answered, all 9 of them. And according to 8 out of 9 people, Savage Dragon fans, she's a hero. We only had one. We only had one person say villain. So,
But this is kind of the whole thing about obviously Malcolm now moving to Canada is it's all different. He doesn't have the SOS, he doesn't have Kevin, so it's all It's all new.
We should
new heroes. New villains.
We should probably explain to our audience what a magical girl is.
Yeah.
Since apparently
Because
Eric didn't know what a magical girl was. He knows what Sailor Moon is, of course. But apparently we take for granted that terms like magical girl are ubiquitous when they may in fact not be.
It's not. I would say most people. What's funny is if you know any of this nerd shit, you know what magical girls are. But what's funny is I would say Joe Blow on the street doesn't fucking know what a magical girl is.
Oh no!
Like if you walked up,
well, the weird thing is,
if you just walked up to some
I don't know
random
what
person and were like, "Yo, what's a magical girl?" or "I'll shoot your brains out," they'd be like, "Just pull the trigger,
just kill me now,
just kill me."
Yeah, but even to like a casual nerd, it's probably just going to be Sailor Moon. They're not going to know that there's this massive genre.
Well, Jim, you wanted to talk about it. Spill it, man.
Well, I'm not the greatest expert on magical girl genre in the world.
I thought you were the aficionado.
Well, I pretend to be. Cat's out of the bag.
All right, faker.
But Sailor Moon, the most visible of this genre is, you've got your cast of girls, and their power comes from nebulous magic.
All right.
And this genre goes back decades. I'm not even sure who the prototype was, or
It was historical dramas with things like Rose of Versailles and like romantic
prepare
dramas.
to have your balls blown off, because thanks to this, I learned about magical girls and their origins. I mean, here it goes. I had no idea. This shit blew my mind, but because Erik was talking about it on Twitter, and someone came out. Actually, it was one of my bros at Angry Viking Press came out and schooled me on magical girls in a way I had no idea. So check it out. The origin of the magical girl was they did a anime that came out the same year that Bewitched aired in Japan. And so
Samantha is the first magical girl.
Samantha from Bewitched is the first magical girl. I couldn't even believe it when they said that to me. I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And I looked it up.
That's not so crazy when you consider.
I looked it up.
If it wasn't for Mickey Mouse, we wouldn't have Astro Boy.
Exactly. That's like the big eyes.
It's not so crazy.
The big eyes thing comes from Snow White.
And it makes sense that in the Japanese manga and anime industry that they took that and made it more action oriented and more whatever the current fashions of the time were.
So the very first magical girl was literally a witch who rode a broom. I'm trying to get her name real quick, but that's not super important for the conversation. It was just that literally Samantha from Bewitched inspired the very first magical girl. Of course, as Jim already stated, Sailor Moon is pretty much the magical girl everyone knows.
Right, the archetype, the what's a good word for that?
She's your Superman, basically.
Yeah.
Your icon. Like, if you don't know fucking superheroes, you know Superman.
And I guess we should point out the reason why we think magical girl when we see this character on 231. She's got the streamers in the hair. She's got the pink hair, of course, the colored hair, and the twin tails. Well, it's quad tails.
Yeah. She's definitely got some anime-inspired hair. I don't know if he was joking. I mean, he probably just was. But somebody asked him what the inspiration was for the character, and he said sex dolls and manga.
Well,
so
that also kind of...
Thanks, Japan.
So there you go.
Maybe her name's Ichi.
You never know.
Oh...
So no, I think it's awesome. I fucking like the... Zach said, that he liked the design. I like it. How about you, Jim?
I'm good. I hope there's a good story reason that her outer clothes are opened up like that. I mean, she's clearly underwear themed. I mean, there have been weirder
magical girls. That's very covered up.
Must there be a reason?
Magic lingerie from the moon.
Maybe it's like Kill the Kill and the clothes are alive.
I don't think there needs to be a reason. I think it's just a costume. I think it's just a fun, sexy costume, and it's okay.
I wonder if she enjoys stepping on people.
I love it. I think the perspective is worth talking about. At first, when you look at it, you don't necessarily realize maybe what's going on, but she's actually smashing his head into the side of a building. And they did have Erik did share that originally he was going to do a side-turned cover where...
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think it works perfectly fine as it is.
I gotta admit, I would have kind of dug it.
Yeah, the logo would have had been a lot smaller, though, or...
Agreed.
Like, way in the background, like, covered up by most of the stuff.
Yeah, I don't like portrait covers. It's just not my thing at all.
I mean, did Erik do one once, like, way back in the early days? I could have swore there was a sideways cover.
I could have swore there was, too.
I gotta pull up the Savage Dragon covers real quick.
Uh-oh. Real-time fact-checking.
I think it would be faster. Just go grab my archives.
Oh, shit. Real-time physical...
Oh, God. He's gone to the bookshelf. Guns are out.
Jim is referring to physical media. That's when you know it's gotten serious.
That is the first sign of the apocalypse.
He's basically Lawnmower Man at this point.
Oh, my
He
God.
exists only as a cyber being.
Damn it.
Well, I will say that
It's like that one scene in Blade Runner.
it's funny.
I remember these.
It's funny to me, just because Sailor Moon has been mentioned in the book.
Yes, Maxine's a fan.
Yeah, they
isn't she?
refer to Malcolm's Maxine's sailor outfit as Sailor Moon. So it's kind of, to me, it's the natural extension. Like, you know, Malcolm likes Speed Racer, clearly has a Sailor Moon like sailor outfit thing. So, yeah, it's all.
I have
Malcolm is
returned
a
from my
weenie.
sojourn.
Uh-oh.
The man cave.
I'm wrong. There wasn't anything like that. I think it was mixing it up with issue 5, which had that like the really big logo, really stretched out one.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I had issue, what was it, 115 in my head as being a portrait, but it isn't. That's just a wraparound.
Yeah.
So
see, and that's why I would have been okay with it, because I always like to see new and weird things. So, like, the sideways cover, I think, would have been, like... It would have created that vertigo, like, you know, that confusing... Like, you look at it and you're like, whoa, wait, what? Whoa. But, you know, whatever. It's all good.
Upside down cover.
Yeah, the way...
And then there's digital readers like us who lose the effect completely.
You just turn rotation off. Easy peasy.
Technology. Inferior.
But just one last thing I want to point out about this cover. One of the other reasons why, like, magic in general kind of screamed out at me is because she kind of has, like, this inner glow thing going on.
Inner glow?
Inner glow. Like, there's, like, a light source, like, emanating from her.
Like an aura?
Yes, an aura.
I'm looking at it again. I might have...
Got, like, kind of this soft light thing going on.
Yeah, I see it. I totally
Could just
see
be
it.
how the sky is being colored, but I kind of think it feels like an aura of some kind. Yeah,
I'll say I like Malcolm in the baseball style shirts, like his old man used to wear.
yeah.
It looks good on you, man. It looks good on you. Just all in all, it's a kick-ass cover. I dig it, and also too, like, we're super excited.
It is a very nice cover.
It's cool to see new characters in the book. Like, I don't care.
It's cool to see new characters get cover space.
Yeah.
That's kind of where,
In what I presume is the introductory issue.
unless she shows up in like the last panel of the 230.
Yeah.
It's good.
But yes, I think that's kind of some of the best covers are the ones with the introductory villain on the cover.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. It's good. It makes a good impact. Makes a good impression. And again,
You ask a lot of questions.
it really drives home the new era. Like, you want all that new you can get. So, moving right along, I don't mean to hold you fellas up.
What else we got?
Savage Dragon Archives Volume 9 is pre-order available on Comixology. Issues 221 through 225. And
Nope, you typed that in wrong.
What?
It's 201.
201?
Yeah,
I was thinking
yeah,
that was skimpy.
4
for
issues in our archives.
There's
Oh,
25 issues.
You know, folks.
4 issues? What is this, an early image trade paperback?
Here at the Savage FINcast, we take our fact-checking deathly seriously. So that was actually just a test to see if Jim was listening. Him and Zach both were.
The research boy will be shot
Good
at
job.
dawn.
I just want to say thank you both, keeping us on the level. Got to make sure 201 to 225. So my correction there. Thank you. And if you think about 225 as an oversized issue, that's a beefy archive. So
well, they're all 25 issues long.
are they?
Yeah, pretty much.
But are all 25
they are.
issues oversized?
Wait, what? Oh, good point.
That's the point I just made.
Right.
Volume 3 seems to be like the really slim one because there were no extra long issues in that one. And then you get ones like Volume 4 where it's got issue 100 in and it is super
There
beefy.
you go. That's all I'm saying.
Archives 1 had the 3-issue miniseries as well as the first 25 issues. So
And that one wasn't 25. Well, it was 25 issues, but to catch up, the second volume incorporated like issues 23, 24, and then 25 on
Which
top
was an
of
oversized
the other
issue.
25. And yeah, Archives 2, I think, is the biggest one. It's definitely one that when I look at it on the shelf, it's like, bloody hell, how did I make it through that? That's huge.
I gotta say,
archives are big boys.
Archives are great. I love
it's
them.
always good. It's just keep them coming. That's all I'm saying. Just keep them coming. So I think probably our beefiest news issue. This is the most, to me, exciting.
Yeah, it would be. I am announcing now that I'm retiring undefeated. But no, what I'm seriously, Savage FINcast now has a Discord. What is a Discord, you might ask?
Immediately.
Immediately. Discord is what these newfangled kids are using to communicate. It's basically a chat room with voice chat options. It's kind of like Instant Messenger or Facebook Messenger, I guess. But it's more robust in that you can have themed channels that you can invite people to, and then basically they get updates every time the chat room gets activity.
Uh-huh.
The idea, I hope, is that we can get on the Discord and we can talk about the latest issue of Savage Dragon. Maybe the Wednesday that it comes out. We're still trying to work out some kind of announcement of a date to just have a chat. We've already got a bunch of people signed up. The nice thing,
We have 10. We're in double digits.
The thing about Discord is you can use it in your browser. You don't have to download a separate app if you don't want to.
That's what's nice.
Although if you download the app or on your phone or on your computer, then you'll get the updates of when people start typing messages in it. Otherwise, you won't. You'll have to keep it open in your browser indefinitely. So that's the trade-off, is that if you want to get the updates, you have to download the program. But if you just want to hang out, you can just click the link that I provide in the Facebook group, which I'll update. I will periodically repost, and you just join up. I think you can sign up with your Facebook account.
And you don't have to make a new login. If you have Facebook, you can just click on through.
Perfect. And then you'll just be connected to our other Savage Dragon fans in our official, unofficial Savage FINcast Discord group.
And Jim has been nice enough already to set up 2 channels, one for just general discussion, the other one for spoiler heavy discussion. So if you're afraid of going in there, hanging out, and having the latest issue spoiled for you, there's a place just for spoiler talk. So it's cool already. I like it. I think it's cool. Works good on cell phones too.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you're like that cell phone kind of guy, it's good for that.
So if you want to get invited to it, my advice is to check our Facebook group and scroll down a bit. You'll probably see me have a post about it. There'll be like a big graphic that says Discord, and that'll have the always good invite link.
And I'll try too to we have it over in dragonfan.net as well. So again, if you say you're a Facebook hater and you just want to go to the website dragonfan.net, you can also get through it to there too as well. And I'll try to keep it up to date, like with whatever changes, their invite link or whatever, for each issue at least. So yeah. I think it's cool. I think it's great that you set this up, Jim, just because of the timing with the image forums going down.
Yeah, there's that.
No image forums. So, I mean, the forums weren't exactly jumping, but...
No, it was just a Robert Kirkman side of it, wasn't it, really, that was kept alive. I mean, every time there came out a new issue of Dragon, it would spike up for about a week, and then it'd peter out again.
But, it's cool. I think that it gives people a place. And if again, for Discord users, you know how you would like go to a forum and then you'd come back and everything would be highlighted and like, oh, new messages. Discord's the same way. Like when you're gone and you come back, it's like, oh, 35 new messages, and you can just like scroll up and read them and you can see what's new. Like it marks it for you. So it's kind of gives you in a way that forum style experience. So I like it.
And it was easy to set up, so I figured why not have one?
Well, thank you, Jim. Thanks for setting that up, man.
Yep, we'll see where it goes.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
All right, that's it for the news. Let's move on to our second favorite section of the podcast, the
FINteresting conversations.
Yes, that what Raven said. Thank you, Raven. The
favorite parts of the podcast that no one remembers.
Yeah, there was a setup that made it work. Our second favorite part of the podcast.
Something yada yada. Just
so in FINteresting conversations, if that's its real name, we ask you, the viewer. We present a question for you, the listeners, and you can write us in and give us your opinions. And at the end of it, we'll choose a new topic for next time, and then we'll talk about it because we like hearing ourselves talk. And then you may also write in with your opinions on the matter. And so for this episode, our question last episode was, which characters would you like to see hook up in a relationship? We got a couple of responses. Remember last time I was very embarrassed. But let's see if you do better. Tony M writes, "Yo, Horridus and Bubble Boy," I think that was his name. The dude made up a lot of bubbles who tried to join SOS way back in the 50s or 60s. Or Double Page and Double Header. 4X the fun. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. Thank you, Tony. I can't believe we didn't remember anything about Double Page.
I know, dude. How obvious.
Double Page and anybody, really.
Double Page and anybody.
Head cubed.
I mean, isn't that... It's amazing. I can't believe that, like you said... And, again, Tony hits the perfect Double Page combo. Double Page and Double Header? Of course.
Horridus and Bubble Boy isn't bad either, although I suppose he may be Bubble Man today. What is happening to Bubble Man?
No, it's like Aqua Boy. He never grows up. He would always be Bubble Boy.
I like the implications of a Horridus and Bubble Boy relationship. Like, obviously the implications, they can't really, like, get it on or anything. So how, like, sexually tense would be their relationship,
She'll pop all his bubbles and reveal a handsome man underneath.
My prince!
Just lots of, just like, imagine, be like lots of, like, just barely touching, like, ooh. like, I'm breathing on your back. Don't touch. I don't know. I'm just saying. Those are hilarious.
The masters of tantric.
Those are hilarious choices. Yes, that tantric. Thank you, Zach. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you.
A what?
Tantric sex. Google it.
Okay.
For a good time. For a good time.
No, don't taint Jim's purity. No.
Google it. It's. You know what? I'm just saying, for that Horridus Bubble Boy relationship, tantric. TANTRIC.
It'd be the perfect long distance, actually, because then Skype is the only viable option.
Yeah, like they're imagine they're like super into sexting. Like that's their preferred way to get it on. Because it's safe.
A technical term for texting. Sexting.
Sexting, yeah. You never heard...
More or less.
Yeah. No, those were killer choices, Tony. Thank you, sir. That was fantastic. Double page. Like you said, Jim. I cannot believe. And you know what? Hold on. Let's park the bus. Let's park the FINteresting conversation bus for just a minute. You know who's we didn't get a relationship take from? Zach.
Moi.
You want to wait? You want us to go through the
You go through them and I'll see if I can get some
All right.
ideas.
I'll tell you what. We'll let you think, but you be thinking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's pick this up. Thank you, Tony. This is, our next bro who writes in is Joseph. And Joseph says, "Hey dudes, long-time fanatic with a Fin, F-I-N. Thank you for that. New listener to the FINcast. Sup, Raven? Sup, Joseph? How you doing? Thank you for listening. It was very cool to see your backup story in Savage Dragon. Oh my god, thank you. It's like... that kind of stuff is still so surreal to me. It was cool to see your backup in Savage Dragon. It was fresh and sexy. I'd seen your work years ago. Our comic shop guy Darren told me about you. Oh shit, Darren in Asheville. Right on, brothers. This letter is blowing my mind. It's pretty cool to see you get such an awesome reintroduction to your style. Here's my FINteresting mashup. Rita Meter Maid, Kill Cat, and She-Dragon. With the Mohawk, with or without powers. An epic threesome in the prison with lady cops. Love it. It says top points. Rita can change size. She-D's got so much spunk. And Kill Cat's got the mustache.
It's always good for it.
That's fantastic. I love it. Question for you. Question for you all. How would you like to see a far future story in which all of Malcolm's children have grown up and become a super family? What would you think that would be like? Stay savage, Joseph. First off, let's speak to the FINteresting conversation at hand. That's a great menage a trois. Kill Cat, Rita Meter Maid, and She-Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
There's some magic.
I guess what he's getting at is he wants a prison romance, and She-Dragon and Rita are cops, or at least Amy's a cop now.
Right.
I mean...
no. Size changing.
I get it.
You Google giantess. That's a genre of porn.
I wonder if Kill Cat's into being sat on.
I'm just saying, yes, probably. Squished under a giant foot. I can see him liking that. The dude's a Bieber lady. He's a Bieber girl. He's probably into getting squished.
Okay!
I love it. It's fantastic. No, but as to the other FINteresting conversation, we had one submitted for this one, but let's sock that away for the future, because that's not a bad one, actually.
Sure. Also, you want to save it. You don't want to throw it.
Well, do you want to talk about it right now?
I mean, I think we're expecting that sort of thing to happen. And, of course, if we know Erik Larson, never expect the expected.
I got to be honest. Here's my grim prediction. I don't see all three of those kids making it to adulthood.
Nah.
My prediction is... This is my legitimate prediction.
Uh-huh.
Jack goes bad, Tyrone dies, and Amy becomes the hero of the book.
I gotta say, I think that's a solid prediction. Although Jack goes bad, that's a shame.
Just my prediction.
My prediction would be none of them survive. They'd perhaps make it to teenage years, but then there'd be some event perhaps in this. Because the question is always, when it comes to these, how far do you want to look down the line, is the question of how long does Erik want to keep the train going, or how long will he be capable of going? Because if you think it's taken 20 odd years to get to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you gotta draw the line somewhere, and I'd perhaps say by the time all three of them are teenagers, we could be looking at Endgame. So I don't want to really draw any real conclusion. So I'm just going to say all three are going to die at some point.
See, I'm a crazy person. I think Savage Dragon is never going to end. I think it's going to wind up incomplete because Eric's going to die at the drawing table. So
I gotta say,
we'll never have the
probably.
satisfying ending we want.
I would imagine that is incredibly likely. I could totally see that happening. A lot of cartoonists. What's funny is a lot of cartoonists have died at the drawing board, and I totally could see that in the future. And so, no, I really don't see it wrapping up. Like, honestly, I don't see it because I don't think he's ever going to get tired and be like, well, better put a cap in it. I'm really shitty now. He's never going to say that. He's always going to keep working. So I was
thinking more in terms of like physical ability. Because there's all kinds of things that could go wrong. It's like he could use the ability to use his hands. Could be Parkinson's. Could be arthritis. Could be anything. Dying at the drawing table is a real possibility if he keeps up the workload. But I don't know.
Death. That's how you want to go as a
That
cartoonist.
is, you want to go out doing what you love. But
Go
in
out
terms of
fight.
what happens to the kids...
My point is, I think trying to think of it as like a structured story he's trying to get to an ending out for, I think isn't really what he's going for.
No, but there will come a point where he does feel like he might have to start thinking about it, maybe. I don't know what goes in the guy's head. It's just, all I can think of is what would happen if I was in his situation.
I will say, Joseph brings up the point, like, superhero family. Superhero family is not overly done in comics.
True.
You have it somewhat. Fantastic Four, obviously the most famous superhero family, and then of course Noble Causes. There wasn't Noble Causes, or no, Dynamo 5.
And Dynamo
wasn't
5.
Dynamo. Yeah, they were a family.
No, Dynamo 5's setup was they were all illegitimate children of a superhero, and they all inherited one of his powers.
Okay,
But it is a family, but they were had different moms.
Okay.
My Hero
Lucy
Academia
Doozies.
also has like a family team, but it's not the main focus. So
Yeah. I mean,
So again, it's not overly done, so it would be a really huge dynamic change to have like three what you call main characters.
and
So
to be fair, Batman and Superman both have actual super sons right now.
you know what? I'm sorry. You want it, Jim? You want to invite a Jag? I'll go on a Jag.
Go on a Jag. What's a Jag?
The Jag is this: you see Malcolm Dragon grow up and take the book.
Right.
Fucking Damian Wayne ain't never going to be Batman.
Fair enough.
No.
That's Bruce Wayne will always be Batman. I don't even know why the fuck they thought they should invite, because all you're gonna get is this weird thing where Damian grows up, so, like Nightwing style, and just all of a sudden he's an adult, and so is Bruce, and it's completely bizarre. I don't even know why the fuck they went down that road. Like, this is the dumbest thing.
They already killed him once. They got rid of him, but then they brought him back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is when he died, I was like, well, of course,
That
of
solved the
course he
problem.
died. Yeah, of course he died because Batman can never grow old. So of course his son died. Oh wait, he's back. Well, I don't even know what the fuck they're thinking. So like, that's the end of the rant.
Oh, you said rant. I thought you said like Jag.
It's a Jag rant.
All right. We got one more.
Super Family's cool with me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that'd be. I still want them to change the title to Savage Dragons.
That would be cool.
Still available. It's free, Eric.
Well, do you see, if this was Savage Dragons, do you see a lead shot like pushing through? Like, it's got to be Amy, right?
Yeah. Amy feels like the obvious next gen iteration.
Because to me, Jack is just what Old Man Dragon was, and Tyrone is just like Malcolm.
Right.
Amy's fresh.
And Amy's got that wrinkle. She might, in the future, have the ability to change back and forth between dragon and human.
Yeah, old Ten Toes Amy.
Mm.
So
Once she gets like old enough to think about her powers, maybe she has like some finer control of how she turned from human to a dragon.
that's a crazy take. I never thought of that. If you're right, that's fucking insane.
I feel like there's got to be a reason that happened, and not just to fool the readers.
I literally thought nothing of it more than she just has 10 toes. All right, we'll see. Zach, it's all on you, baby. Take us home.
Okay, our final reply to the interesting conversation comes from one, I apologise if I'm butchering your name, Andre R. Hey guys, awesome podcast. Here are my list of characters that I believe should be together. Number 1, a second vote for double header and double page. Think of
Everyone
it,
thought of it but us.
Everyone!
I know.
Some hideously deformed monstrosity, like a basket case character. 2, I always liked Nurse Stevenson and Dragon. I thought they would be cute together. That was only a thing for a little while, though. 3, the same for Powerhouse and Horridus. 4, just for what the fuck, Rita Meadowmaid and Low Blow. Thanks again, guys. Signed, Andre R. Okay, I just want to cut straight to the 4th one. It's kind of like that when your one true pair has a height difference.
I love it.
For
That's
one
hilarious.
true height difference.
It's Android 17 and Krillin.
No! I didn't even know number 3 was a thing. Powerhouse and Horridus. Okay, did they ever interact? I don't remember.
No, I don't think they did. We asked the readers to give us their dream scenarios. So there's no rules.
No rules.
This is anything can
It's kind of an. I mean, it's an interesting pairing in that it's. I mean, it's as logical as any other.
Yeah.
They don't really. There's nothing. There's no pun involved. There's no trick involved. It's just what if these two met and whatever happened.
And Powerhouse could handle the spikes,
Sure.
so that ain't no thing. That ain't no thing. So that actually is a pretty logical choice because think about it. We know Horridus is a hornbag.
Oh yeah.
And so literally and figuratively, she's a hornbag. So Powerhouse is actually built for it. He could take it.
Big.
Rita Meadowmaid and Low Blow is hilarious.
Yeah, that is a genuine what
Guys.
the fuck. And also something that I don't want to picture. Thank you very much, Andre.
No, I do want a picture. I want that. I want a commission.
Framed
of
on
that.
my wall.
Raven is going to go away and draw this later.
I want a commission. I want official.
DeviantArts number 1.
Next time I go to a con.
Oh my god. Disgusting.
What blows my mind?
So you guys wanted mine.
What blows my mind before we do the Zack attack? What blows my mind
Nice.
is that not only did we not think of double header and double page, but both listeners, two listeners did. 2 out of 3 listeners did, and Andre even says think of their kids, which is even more hilarious.
Quadruple heads, only heads.
Just nothing but heads, just jamming all out in every direction. It's fantastic. I'm just saying that's why I enjoy FINteresting conversations as a subject, because fucking you guys bring that extra awesomeness to it. Things we should have thought of, you thought of. So, Zach, I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. The floor is yours.
No, mine is kind of a Gubbins one because it's not between 2 people, it's more a scenario.
Oh?
I want to see a soap opera type scenario where Imposter is going around sleeping with 3 dozen characters, but pretending to be whoever that person would rather be with. So you could literally have Imposter pretending to be Maxine and shagging Malcolm at every occasion.
Speaking of that, isn't it implied that Imposter slept with Dragon?
I mean, I would think.
Oh god, you're right.
Because he replaced Jennifer a while back at that point.
Yeah, that time Overlord killed him.
I would assume. I always thought so.
Imposter got the double D.
He got the pasta.
So yeah, that's just kind of my cop
that
out.
out there. Just pointing that out.
Imposter could literally just be shipped with anyone.
That's what you call deep undercover.
But
Seriously. No, I like this that you have rather greedily found a way to turn your who would you like to see hookup thing into
All
Minnie.
ships are canon. They are all canon.
Minnie. You've turned it into Minnie. Good. That's the equivalent of wishing for more wishes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my cop-out.
Nice. No, I'll take it. I'll accept it. Very kinky.
Nice. So, who would like to introduce the new FINteresting topic?
Jim, that's all you,
Well,
my man.
this one actually comes not from a listener or ourselves. This one is one that Erik himself asked his fan base on Twitter and Facebook. And I figured, it's a pretty good question, and it's worth talking about amongst ourselves and amongst the listeners. So we're going to ask for our next episode. Erik asks, I'm wondering how many Savage Dragon readers are straight up on board with whatever the hell I do. How far can it stray before I lose you? So our question is to you guys, what would Erik have to do to make you stop reading Savage Dragon? Now, for some people... Hold on, guys. Someone's revving a fucking car. All right.
I heard that.
All right.
Noisy
So,
bastards.
for some people, that's just happened with all this sex stuff. I know at least
Yes.
one person who for sure dropped the book as a result of it, and it's actually a funny story about how I know he did.
Okay.
There's this website that does it aggregates reviews of comic books, kind of like Media Critic does for books. I mean, for video games. So there's a place for user reviews, and for the latest issue of Savage Dragon, there's this guy, I forget his exact name, but if you go back like 3 or 4 issues, he starts out giving the book a 9.0, and then it goes to a 6.0, and then a 4.0, and finally his final message is, all this sex, I'm out. You watch his slow descent into madness over these last few issues.
Oh,
Will somebody think of the poor critics?
that's
garbage.
So that's all it took was a graphic cover and lots of nudity.
and he's out.
That was the best alternative cover ever, though.
I wonder if he knows his parents had sex and that's why he's here. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, do you think he's like some radical Catholic?
Like, bro, you're here because of sex. I know if you don't like it, but I'm just saying, like. No, it's fine. I mean, if that's your deal breaker, that's your deal breaker. It's kind of crazy to me that 25 years in, that it's a deal breaker now.
Yeah, it kind of does bring about the whole argument of ridiculous levels of graphic violence are okay for a lot of people, but the slightest appearance of sexism or sexual inference is a lot for people. But Dragon can have his head blown off every other issue, and it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a million, and we went over that. It's well-worn ground at this point.
Yeah.
I guess listeners all know where we stand and everything, but...
Yeah, I think if you think like that, you're a muppet. Just saying.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, that's a funny deal breaker. What kind of... And I know there were a lot of people like who replied on his thing that were like, if it was hardcore pornography, I'm out. And I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, at this point, you've seen people fucking in the book. Like, you've seen it. Like, I don't know, like, you've seen male and female genitalia. You've seen penetration. Like, what haven't you seen? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this final line for you at this point? That,
Watch
like,
sports.
I don't get it. I don't know. I'm just saying that to me is a mystery. I guess more to the topic, what do you guys, like, whoever wants to go first, like, what'll break you? What would make you say, nah?
Well, my
Jim?
my serious answer is the same answer I have for the few writers that I have abandoned because of these reasons. Basically, if Erik went hardline libertarian and started informing his work, that's the end for me. It happened with Doug Tennepool, and it happened with Orson Scott Card. As soon as I figured out that those guys were, pushing their political views, that I found pretty reprehensible, that was the end for me.
Yes.
As good an artist as Doug Tennepool is, and all the classic games that he created, I can't support a guy who basically his work reflects his views. So you can't do the separation of personal character and work. It can't happen. So I can't enjoy them anymore.
What's funny is I knew you were going to say that, but I also thought you were going to say Neutron Bob dies.
Well, we haven't gotten...
It goes without saying.
Because I remember we did a FINcast, Zach, where Jim was like, when Neutron Bob, I thought he was dead. I was like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yes. No, I remember that one.
I was like, whoa, really?
Yo, Neutron Bob, you bastards.
Oh my God.
No, you bastard.
It's like amazing.
No, honestly, I'm in complete agreement. Jim has covered exactly what I was going to say. Is a lot of the time when it comes to consumable media, if I find the one driving creative, or the singular in this case creator, is forcing a political agenda that I do not agree with. Not so much don't agree with, but it is objectively deplorable, as is the case with Tennepool and Scott Card. I can't, as a member of the LGBT, as a bi man, as all kinds of things, I can't give my money to these people. Thankfully, Erik isn't one of those. Erik is a very, very well-educated individual who can speak nuanced in this fashion. So I don't suspect there will ever be a problem, unless he does a Frank Miller. But I think
he would have done it already.
He would have done a Frank Miller by now, let's be honest. If 9/11 wasn't enough, then nothing will be. But that's basically it. There's nothing that can... I am pretty much on the Dragon train now. Forever.
Now, hilariously, people on the other side probably see that Erik has already done this, flaunting his liberalism, as it were.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I mean, that's... At the end of the day, it's your choice, but...
Yeah. I don't have anything against Scott Card or Tennepool voicing their views. It's fine. But if it's objectively terrible, and no matter how many times we tell them it's terrible and they still stand by it, I can't give them my money. It's that simple.
It is. You bring up some interesting points there, is that you see it often. People don't like that Erik puts in, like, his left-leaning views, like Bush getting punched out, Obama shown positively on a cover, Trump shown negatively on a cover. And the funny thing is that, Erik's always said, he's like, well, I'm just portraying, reality. Like, the Trump issue was actual things that Trump people said. And
well, the hilarious thing was, didn't Erik say that he was never going to incorporate Trump, and then things got more ridiculous as the months moved on, and it was just kind of like, nah, screw it, I'm putting him in anyway.
It just kind of was unavoidable at that point.
Well, what's really interesting is how he's used it to drive the plot, as opposed to just throwing it in there to make, to take jabs. This stuff is there, basically what's happened, because, Savage Dragon takes place in a quote-unquote real world in real time. This stuff would affect Malcolm and and people that he knows, the super freak community. So it makes logical sense.
Well, on top of that, let this cook your noodle. For the people who are like, oh, he shoves his politics down our throats or whatever, it's like he actually moved the book to Canada to avoid U.S. politics.
Damn right.
Yeah, he said in the interview that, like, it was just going to be a thing that he couldn't avoid since he sets the book in real time and likes to talk about current events.
I've got to wonder, how will this, age the book? Like, if I was to come back in 20-odd years, or, pass my archives down to my kids and they go, who was Donald J. Trump? Obviously not with that accent. I was kind of like, God, do I have to explain? Assuming it's not nuclear war by that point, having to explain all this, I don't know. Will it age the book? I don't think so. For the time being, reading it in the present, it is really topical and kind of gives it a nice edge. I feel.
Aging the book's kind of the point, being the real time thing.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You see Al Gore, and you see, that's always been there.
Yeah, John Kerry. John Kerry shared a cover with Bush or like whoever. It was like he was on there, and it's like, Are we gonna know who John Kerry is down the road? No, but like it made it.
I don't know who John Kerry
What's the
is.
second question Frank asked Dragon when he finds him in the burning field? Who's president of the United
Who's
States?
the president?
Bill Clinton.
Now, if I could take a slight detour and perhaps make like a UK parallel,
Okay.
the first ever issue of 2000 AD features our then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher being shot in the
Nice.
street. There's actually an American podcast where people are reading 2000 AD, like, and they're talking about it, and they're like, "Wow, these English people really don't like their Prime Minister." It's kind of like, yeah, but Margaret Thatcher's been dead for like 3 years.
Oh, at that time?
And no, not at the time.
Real
She was still the den. In real world, when they were reading it, Margaret Thatcher had been dead for like 3 years. And what they don't realise is, obviously, and this is the same for Erik, is this is creators who have very much free reign putting in their political views. Pat Mills, who wrote that strip, absolutely hated Margaret Thatcher because she was a Tory and she was a terrible one.
The Tories are the Conservative Party, right? Primary Conservative Party.
The Conservative Party, yeah, they are Republicans. But it's a bit more complicated over here because of multiple parties.
Lucky
and so
you.
on and so forth.
You actually have to have...
You say lucky, that means we've got a higher chance of getting a bad one.
As opposed to
without
just two
derailing
bad
it
ones
too
like we have.
Well, you want to know what I find hilarious about that whole thing with the comic's called Invasion and Thatcher gets killed.
Yes.
In the comic, because Margaret Thatcher is disliked by a lot of British people at that time in real life. In the comic, it martyrs her, making her like super like in death as a rallying point for the rebellion.
Yeah, the Joan of Arc. Which is funny because it was done ironically.
Exactly.
But now it would probably be lost on a lot of people. Unless they're reading current Pat Mills, in which case we're not allowed to forget how liberal he is. We don't talk about
We won't talk about Pat Mills today.
But it's... Yeah, that was just an interesting parallel that I feel should be brought up. It does age it, but now that you say it, Jim, that is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point of it. He does that intentionally. Well, I'll say this: I still feel like asking you guys because this is what we're talking about. It's like, okay, you're like, yeah, it's the creator's intent, but then should you bail just because should you really bail just because the views are present? Like, for instance, we know Savage Dragon does not actually fucking stay political. Is it like 99.99% not political? Mm. So,
well, to be fair, what Eric's really asking in this question is like, could he do a funny animals issue? Could he do, could he go way off the rails? Like, how far off, like, the beat?
He even said Western or porn. Like, what would would that run you guys
Probably
away?
Probably not.
So you'd be down for Savage Dragon Western?
Oh yeah,
I would have
absolutely. Fucking Western, absolutely.
I fucking would too.
But it depends. Would it tie into the story, or would it be like an imaginary story, like back in the Silver Age days when Superman would be a cowboy? It really depends on like how it's presented. I mean, it wouldn't drive me away, but whether or not I enjoy it, it would depend on context.
I will finally just give you my answer is that I am fucking super down for what the fuck ever. Like, to me, I really do believe in like the auteur theory where, there's that singular guiding voice, that vision, and I think that is the strength of independent comics. I think that there's nothing wrong with team comics or team creative endeavors, but I think that one of the huge, most powerful things of comics is that a single individual can deliver an entire experience. I mean, he's the fucking set designer, he's the director, he's the editor, he's the writer, he's the fucking fashion, like the person who does like wardrobe. Like, every single thing is coming out of this one person. And so, to me, if that one person wants to take the book into a fucking Wild West hardcore porno, I'm there.
Wild West hardcore porno, specifically that.
That's it. Assless chaps everywhere. Sand and semen at high noon.
Honestly, there's nothing that could really drive me away in terms of tonal things, because I know, as is the case with Dragon, it would move on. Like, if you'd asked me when I first jumped on the book whether if Dragon went through a soap opera or teen sex comedy phase, I'd probably go, yeah, that put me off a little bit, but now I've actually seen it. Holy crap, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, he did that. He did
that's
he
a
did
great
a comic
point.
strip era. He did a Fantastic Four Silver Age family adventure era. I mean, he's done this before, and it's always either reverted or mutated into something else.
Did an Avengers period, so yeah, it's pretty much.
That's a fantastic point, is that one of the reasons why I can be reading the same comic book for 25 years is that it really does go through like all kinds of different mutations and phases. So honestly, I don't think there's fucking shit that could run me away, because like you said, it's not gonna last forever. He's gonna get bored and want to do something else.
I can't wait for the Savage Dragon Kaiju era, let's just put it that way.
I'll eat that shit up with a fork and spoon. That'd be fantastic.
So that's our opinion on it. You listeners, you feel free to write in and give us your hot take on this matter. We really would like to hear. How close are you to dropping the book right now? Because of the titties.
The titties in politics. Trump and titties.
No, those are two things that should never be said in close succession. No, never. Nope.
Well, thank you very much. The FINteresting conversation topics are fucking awesome. We appreciate them. Please send us yours too at savagefincast@gmail.com. Of course, we'll discuss it. We want to hear your responses to the one we just did from Erik. We also want your new proposals, new subjects you think we should be talking about. So please, please, please give us them sweet, juicy topics, baby.
So I guess it's
Nice.
time for Raven's favorite part of the podcast.
Meat and potatoes.
Nice.
Savage Dragon 227.
Welcome to Toronto. Well, let's talk about the cover right off the bat.
I mean, we talked about this cover when it was solicited, but yeah, it sure is a cover.
I like it. I'm just saying in the minute.
Tells you everything you need to know, really.
And what's funny is it immediately got like all the Canadians are like, oh no, why's she wearing that out? Why's she wearing that like jersey and like?
Oh, is the blue Maple Leafs or is the blue the other one?
Basically, it's funny because like even the beer in Malcolm's hand is a reference to a real thing.
Yeah, it's Molson's, I think.
Yeah, so like I'm completely like ignorant. Like I don't know shit about. I know Tim Hortons, and I know Mooses and Mounties and Maple Leaves.
Well, this is going to sound terrible because as little as I know about America, I know even less about Canada. So,
Well, good news for both of you. I lived 20 miles away from the border and spent much of my childhood
you've not
above.
got far to run when the apocalypse happens.
So we've got an almost Canadian.
I've been to Toronto multiple times.
Really? Great.
I mean, not in my adult years, but I've definitely been there. Although we spent more time in Kingston, really. But I have been to Toronto. I went to their museums once when I was younger.
Have you ever downed to Molson's?
Where? Oh no, I no. We did the tourist shit.
Okay.
Saw the dinosaur bones.
I like that, this cover there, like, Amy's munching on the hockey puck, like, there's the maple leaf. It's good. It's like you said, tells you everything you need to know. That slate gray Canada sky.
Is it really that apocalyptic? Is Canada just grey skies? Is Canada to you what Ireland is to us? Just grey skies everywhere?
This is what Canada is to
Canada.
Americans. Canada's the good version of America. So, for all the jokes, Canada is what we aspire to be. Like, they're nicer, and it's cleaner, they're more polite.
Oh, so it's nothing like Ireland then.
They seem to have their shit together.
Well, it's also huge. Canada is massive, and they've got massive wilderness going north. But it is also fucking cold because once you get like north of where all civilization is, it really does. The temperature does really just drop.
Well, it's the neighbouring country to the North Pole, so yeah.
Well, even just like up north, like just like even like just like we associate Canada with cold. Like when you think Canada, you think snow and hockey and mooses and mountains.
Well, there's still a lot of virgin wilderness up there. It's just still a lot of places where humans just don't go because it's too cold. I mean, it's, Alaska times 50. It's nice. I like Canada.
But to put it in perspective, like Zach, there was that stupid documentary where it's like the only murder that happened in that one place was like an American came across the bridge and killed someone. Like it was like that's the impression we have. Whereas like down here, people get killed all the time, and no one. It's like, oh well,
Don't let the cliches fool you. They have their own problems.
Oh yeah, and that's the funny thing is that like those are cliches. Like I have Canadian friends from the internet that are always like love dispelling those myths. They're always like, nah, it's bullshit up here too. Like the Mounties are all crooked.
Sure.
The beer is always too warm.
Turns out Trudeau, even though Trudeau's kind of a liberal, he's apparently a piece of shit sometimes. Too.
Yeah.
Don't think that just because you've got a liberal point of view doesn't mean you can't be a piece of shit.
Everybody's like, oh, he's so beautiful, and people are like, yeah, he's a sack of shit too. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So
there's a lot of political corruption. Here's a fun story about Montreal that I guess I got from another podcast. People who live up there. They don't have food trucks in Montreal.
Eh?
They're illegal.
Illegal?
They're illegal.
What you mean is in
because restaurants...
Like ice cream vans?
Yeah. Like, do you have, like, hot dog stalls on corners?
I can think of one in the entire city.
Well, they're pretty ubiquitous here in the States. Basically, all your major cities have food trucks all over the place. Just feeding workers.
I'm aware of at least that much.
Foot traffic. In Montreal, there are none because the restaurants lobbied the government to put all these like restrictions on them about licensing and stuff, so that no one could just have one. That the cost of doing it would be too high. And so finally they've realized, wow, that's really corrupt. And so they changed the rules, and now only restaurants can have food trucks. So the restaurants get to control the food trucks because the restaurants don't want the competition.
Wow, that's bullshit.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, yeah, there's plenty of corruption going on in Canada. They also had stories about a new bodega would open up, a new storefront, and like a week later, city construction would show up and like cover the facade with like all this shit so that no one could see this new store.
Really?
And start tearing up the street so there's no parking.
Wow.
Man, you know what? Fuck Canada.
Yeah. Fuck Canada. What a wasteland.
That's the episode title right there, by the way. Just a fuck Canada.
Fuck Canada. Oh my god, dude. I didn't know. That sounds,
Apparently Montreal is like notorious for being corrupt.
That sounds just like America. All right, never mind. Perhaps more importantly to the listener, moving the issue. Now, guys, don't you just love seeing Super Tough?
Super Tough's the best character.
As a flunky, just a Trump flunky.
He's just a grizzled Trump flunky.
Look at him, bootlicker.
Got all the credentials to be Secretary of State.
We're invading your private property and making America great again.
Like, check it out. Like, isn't he fulfilling the role that ICE is fulfilling in the real world? Like, These guys' shoulder pads say FBI, but definitely ICE.
Well, ICE is part of the FBI.
Oh, are they? I thought they were their own division of Homeland Security.
What on earth is ICE?
Immigration Customs Enforcement. So what they do?
Oh. They're the people who deport.
Yeah, they do. They're basically like they're
the flying squad
bags.
Yeah,
dude.
okay.
They run into immigrations hearings when people are about to get citizenships and stuff, and throw them in jail, and fucking deport them and shit. They're fucked up.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of thugs.
They're not good. They're not good things.
They're race innocent.
Are they a new department? Or have they been around for a while?
This is new.
ICE is new?
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong.
I gotta do more research on ICE. I assume they'd always been around. It's just the way they're being used is the Justice Department's just been using them this way since Trump took over.
No.
Well, okay. I'll say that the way they're behaving is new. We know that at least.
Yeah. Sure.
Because to bust into an immigration hearing and to take someone away when they're like trying to legally become a citizen is kind of fucked.
Not cool.
They arrested a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy.
I saw
who was
that.
getting,
So this is who we're talking
an
about.
operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically,
That is not
she's-
cool.
So basically, that's what Super Tough's doing here. You know, he's kicking down the door, and he's like, "No, all those women are aliens in the eyes of the U.S. government." And so, like,
He's got Daredevil in tow, who, you know, I kind of wonder if this is a temporary thing, because I can get Super Tough, being a grizzled old veteran, you know, I can get that. But is Daredevil necessarily going to be around in this capacity forever, or is he going to actually have a change of heart?
well, he's not helping. He was just there in the facility.
Well, remember...
I read it wrong, yeah.
Yeah, he's, sort of out and, he's just hanging out.
This is
but
the
remember
SOS facility.
The era he's from, combined with the fact that I think... Is it implied that he and Super Tough were like... That Super Tough was like an active hero when Daredevil was an active hero?
I would imagine they would be.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting point. We haven't seen Daredevil's, like, past relationships, because we've obviously seen that he has a history with Silver Streak, as we know.
Right.
He had a crossover with Silver Streak. I'd love to see Silver Streak more. But no, I don't think that's really been explored that much.
There's an interesting question of if all these other heroes got nabbed by Solar Man, how did Super Tough escape? Questions for another time, perhaps.
Questions for another time, indeed. Another idea, if the government is considering anyone who is basically not from that dimension to be an alien, do those heroes count as aliens, or are they just from the past?
What? Oh, people out of time?
Yeah, people out of time, like,
I think they would still be considered citizens since they have birth certificates.
Yeah, but that didn't stop him from,
And surely an emerging of the timelines doesn't help.
Well, remember, Alex, Angel, and Jennifer are not from this, the merging of the universe has changed stuff. But yeah, for the most part, they don't belong to this world.
Oh, right. And that's the point Super Tough's making.
Jennifer would have a birth certificate from the other Jennifer. But but she was killed, so she may not have documentation.
Well,
time travel dimension hopping makes this complicated.
Thanks, Dark Lord.
anyway.
Because actually all three of them would have birth certificates from their counterparts.
Right.
But they would also have death certificates because all three of them died before the other ones arrived.
So that
Or at
probably
least-
takes care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think of those social security numbers are like what? When you die, they retire that shit, right?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, we have
Gotta
to.
be a real hassle being a dimension displaced time traveler.
He's here. He's shutting down the portal. He's in the SOS field, and then of course, we get to see this kick-ass double-page spread. Is this thing not awesome?
It's pretty cool.
Look
It's
at
got
that
a lot of
dick.
mountains.
Look at that giant.
It is Vor encapsulated.
No, this is a cool monster. I love this monster's design. And I also, too, I don't know if you guys took this away from it. This is how I took it. As they beat him up, he breaks into other littler dudes.
Yeah, you can see smaller dudes crawling out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just above his head, you can see one that's emerging.
Yeah.
This guy must have a killer dental plan.
This is a kick-ass monster. I don't think we've seen him before either.
I briefly
We've
saw
seen something like him.
Yeah, not the mindless ones, the other ones. I forget what they're called. The slow ones, the ones that you saw. Oh, I can't give a good example. You see them sometimes. Remember in, I want to say Savage Dragon 98, when Dragon went back in time, saved Nurse Anne, and Nurse Anne and Dr. Nirvana showed up. Mm-hmm. Does any of this sound familiar?
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Chew up a dime, spit it through his forehead.
Right, okay. They were attacked by all these mindless one type monsters.
Right.
And then they all blew up.
Gotcha. Yep, I know what you mean. Yep, the ones that just gripped on and then blew up. Yep, I remember.
Yeah. These vaguely reminded me of that, but I'm pretty sure they're different.
Well,
they're different.
they're a kick-ass monster. I love this double-page spread. This is some good shit. Good shit. And we see babyface Malcolm in the back of the paddy wagon.
So we're following up directly from the end of last issue where we speculated that maybe this was, they weren't going to be arrested, they were going to be let go. But nope, they're in the back of a truck, being hauled off to whatever fate awaits them.
The most important thing to note is that Jackson shat himself. And that is a hilarious poo-poo face.
I can attest for my niece and nephew that yes, they do shit themselves.
Just look at just a face though. The kids are hilarious. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the times kids in comics suck shit. Like, they're just not good. A lot of people aren't good at drawing them. That's one. Like, have you ever seen how oogie some people draw kids?
Yes.
It's fucking... I don't know why it throws people for a loop so bad, but these dragon babies are quite adorable. And they all have their little personalities and stuff. Like, Amy is hilarious already.
They're talkers. I can imagine having 3 of them as a nightmare.
Blah, blah, blah. Everything is blah, blah, blah.
It's a pretty good sentence.
It's great.
Honestly, growing up as the eldest of 3 siblings by 10 years, it's pretty much what it's like.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's good.
Just screaming and shouting and shitting.
Not always in that order, but yeah.
Malcolm brings up a good point. Like, this law. Like, what the fuck is the point of that law? Like, who else really could that even apply to? Like, who else in the book fits the bill?
Kevin? Nah, actually, no, kinda.
Kevin's from that dimension.
Yeah.
Like, really?
He's got papers.
Also, he's not got alien heritage, so... good point.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a bad law. It does feel like it was written just to target him. But I mean, of course,
Target Superman.
We'll see.
Yeah, this dumb Superman in Dimension X.
Got to get rid of all those aliens, guys. Now, we go back, the ladies are kicking ass in Dimension X, And again, this is where I was talking about, where it looks like when they bash that monster up, that it's like just littler monsters. It's good stuff.
They look kind of like critters, actually, which is...
Oh, right. Dude, just round heads, no eyes. Well, of course, eyes. But they're mostly mouth.
Yeah, there's some hands. Like, if you look, there's some hands just floating off in the debris, but mostly it just looks like it's stone slabs and mouths and shit. It's not dudes. I'm wrong. It's not dudes. They're not getting bust into dudes. They're getting bust into bits.
Into dust. Space dust.
So they're stone-based, or at least they look like that.
Yeah, rock monsters. And then the girls run the rest of them off, and then when the van stops... Dun dun dun! To Malcolm realize he's not been sold down a river by Captain Stewart. He's actually been.
He was going to murder every single one of them. Look at that raised fist.
I like it though. I like that he's like coming at him. They're like, whoa.
Do these police officers have names at this point?
They do. That's Barney on the right. I know that.
Barney?
Mustache one? Yeah, Moustache.
Yeah, Mustache guy is Barney for sure. I don't know about the other dude on the left, but the dude on the right is definitely Barney, because I was like, he looks like a Barney. His bangs match his mustache.
Oh my god, now I can't see it.
Yeah, there you go. So that's Barney. So now you'll never forget Barney's got the mustache.
Best character. Hope he doesn't die next issue.
There's the episode title.
Barney's got the mustache. No, I like it. I like that Captain Stewart hooked Malcolm up, but it's funny because he kind of hooks him up in kind of like a dick way. Like, he's like, hey, you're someone else's problem now. So it's like he didn't exactly hook him up, but like he kind of did.
Best boss ever.
So yeah, man.
So
they move along. The ladies are back in Dimension X. It kind of sort of dawns on them, the bad news. No time machine.
They can't get home.
I don't think they realize that yet. They just know that the time machine's
Oh,
gone.
the time machine is does not exist.
Yep, they don't know they can't get home yet. All they know is that Dark Lord's lair is destroyed and there's no time machine. So, and then they get attacked again because, like, Dimension X is a total clusterfuck all the time.
Yeah, with the I'm trying to remember when Glum was in charge. There was when Darkseid was in charge. There was like a little bit of order, but once he died and then Glum died, it's been chaos ever since.
Oh yeah, nonstop, like just.
Or Glum didn't die, but
Glum
got deposed by Glum got deposed by Dark Dragon, and then things went to shit.
The cursed Earth in space.
Oh no! I'm partially right, but when Glum got stuck on Earth is when things really went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't there to exert control.
Yeah. He wasn't there to rein it in.
And that's when Deathseed tried to take over, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
We actually did take over in a way, so yeah.
He did. And then Jennifer murdered him.
Yeah.
Because it was...
But no, they're fucked, basically. There's no time machine. And of course, we the reader know they ain't getting home either.
This was a dumb plan to begin with. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Well, they've not got Rex Dexter to make a time machine anymore. Not that he probably could in the first place, so they're kind of hedging their bets.
They're super fucked. Like, unless somebody opens that portal, they're just fucked. Like, there's no getting out.
And that portal can be opened anywhere because there's a window that you can dial in different places.
Yeah, but none of these three have what you'd call the smarts. Who was it that operated some machinery though? Angel or Jennifer, one of the two was operating machinery. So Angel, I don't know. Yeah. Technically, they could make the Glum world and maybe get something going. Because we know Glum has the ability because he sent Thor back.
Yes, so and he, that's how he got to Earth in the first place.
Yeah, so technically they're not totally fucked. Yeah, and also too, Glum was dumping aliens in by the boatload. So I think
sure. Angel has all those memories, so she should be able to operate the portal.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, oh bingo, dude. So right there, maybe there's your way out, possibly.
But of course, we know Glum's alive. It's entirely possible that he dismantled everything and then left.
Oh yeah, because you kind of get the idea that he's not in the world conquering business. He's in the baby raising business. So, I don't know what's gonna happen, guys.
It would really kind of suck if they ran into Glum immediately, though. That would kind of ruin that.
I agree. I do like the idea of Glum being bookended out of the book for a while. Obviously, he's not gone forever, but
10 years at least.
You definitely want him to ride the pine. Somebody made the point, and I think this is kind of... Yeah, definitely there's that Alex tension. I felt like Alex was on the chopping block every other page. I was like, oh shit. They even talk about she's vulnerable. You think Angel and Smasher are going to be fine. But I don't know, man. I really hope we don't lose Alex in Dimension.
Good news is rock monsters don't use sharp pieces of metal.
Still,
firearms, apparently.
I'm scared, Jim. I'm just saying I'm scared.
I do find it interesting that all these issues later, all these years, all these story arcs, the Power Glove is still relevant.
I actually thought it was destroyed. I was surprised to see it again. I could have swore the...
Wasn't there two and one was destroyed?
There was. One was definitely destroyed, but I could have swore the second one got destroyed at some point, but I was wrong.
Well,
I'm more curious where it's been.
Well, clearly, they just had an SOS possession.
Yeah.
Because, boom. Which makes sense. I mean, it's an incredibly dangerous weapon, so you wouldn't want that to get in the wrong hands.
I know there were definitely two when Universo attacked the second time. Because I'm pretty sure Dragon was wearing both.
He was.
I think that's where one of them got destroyed, actually. I think. I gotta recheck all that. Hey, guys. Jim Purcell of the Savage FINcast here. I guess at a lot of this shit. My memories are vague at best.
Got a head full of bullshit.
Can we just footnote that and just page it? It's kind of I just jumped to this point for a terrible confession.
Timestamp.
I will say this: the one thing the Savage Dragon wiki could use is an item guide,
for weapons and shit.
The characters all have write-ups and things. The Power Glove should have one too.
I find it
just
somewhat
has its history.
surprising that that's not on there. Let's see, collected appearance on weapons and devices, Jim. It's there, right? Oh, it's not like
Yeah, I thought it was.
you can't click it.
There's nothing in it.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's weird. It's got a stamp, but you can't click it.
It's
Okay.
probably just because no one's made the page yet or done the work.
No admittance.
Oh, good
The forbidden
lord.
section.
Okay, I'm with you, Jim. I get you. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have a way to track those toys. Moving right along.
Yeah, but then everybody's just going to have to file a different article for each of Maxine's sex toys, and nobody wants to do that.
I'll do that. I'll take on that burden.
Oh, no, actually, yeah, you would. Yeah, I'm talking to the right person.
Put the sex tape. Remember the sex tape?
How many issues the sex tape has
Just put the
been?
sex tape like first appearance, last appearance. Is it still out there? We don't know. But moving right along, there's Malcolm and Maxine talking about I guess a customs agent or an immigration guy. And they're sort of going over their both of them are just establishing they don't know shit about Canada.
Yeah, that whole thing where basically they're playing up the Americans who know nothing about Canada trope,
Mm-hmm.
and how all what they do know is out of date.
It's true though. I don't know shit about. I don't know shit about Canada.
Who the hell's Rob Ford?
Yeah, when they're Rob Ford looks like a fat Chris Farley, and Chris Farley was a fat Chris Farley.
Who the fuck's Chris Farley?
I googled him. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. That's accurate.
It's made doubly ironic on me, who doesn't know anything about American culture either, to be fair.
No, it's
Ha
good.
ha, Americans know nothing, says the man who knows nothing.
It's good though, dude. You just know we're all on the same playing field. I will say it was funny to see all the Canadians are super loving it, dude. They were loving it. On his Facebook page, they were loving all these little references and stuff. So it's neat that he went to the trouble to make sure that there's all these things. Because, like we mentioned, he does it for, Savage Dragon. He goes to the trouble to mention, modern movies or current events or something like that. It's just kind of neat that he went to the trouble to put in all this Canada shit, too. The Space Needle thingy. I was like, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get Monsters Ball, though. Is that, filmed in Canada?
Yeah, that was completely lost on me.
Wait, which one?
Where Maxine goes, is Monsters Ball a play on words? Because they're both kind of monsters, and they do ball. I was like, well, that's a funny joke, but, how's that tied to Canada?
What page is this?
I don't know. It's the page that's linear. It's all tall panels. It's after they're talking to the immigrations guy, and then next they're driving, and she sees the Space Needle. And she's talking. So the second panel, she's like, "Is Monsters Ball a play on words? Because they're both kind of monsters and they do ball." And I was like, "What?"
That does kind of come out of nowhere. I'm not really sure what she's talking about.
I was like, I just need someone to tell me, dear listeners, let us know how that ties to Canada, if in fact it does at all.
Dear Erik, we educated you on the nature of magical girls. Would you kindly return the favour and explain what the fuck a monster ball is?
I'm pretty sure it's that movie, but I'm just kind of figuring out the tie to Canada. No, but it's dawning on Malcolm that he doesn't get to go home for theoretically 8 years, 4 to 8 years potentially. So that's kind of again, it's kind of crazy. If you ever had that experience in life where you're just uprooted and you leave all of your friends and family behind, it is a crazy feeling to just move somewhere where fucking nobody and nothing.
Never done it, but I've seriously considered doing it out of just fuck it. But it must be scary.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling. I've done it a time or two.
I guess it's a completely different thing to move to a different part of the country here, whereas literally you could move from one side of the country to the other and it's entirely different. Hell, you could move from one state to another and it's completely different.
The thing too is like they're like, you know, like they talk about like the metric system, like talk about like getting fucked up, like
Yeah, I find this. You got to dig in at the metric system. I don't know how the imperial system works. The metric system is standard here.
All right, wait. I can actually tell you exactly how it works, Zach. Do you know how money used to work where you're from? It's a lot like that.
There's a reason we got rid of that. Because
know.
nobody understood it. How many sterlings there were to the pound? No.
but it's really like
How many crowns there were to a penny?
Exactly.
We got rid of it because it was garbage.
So yeah, metric system's dead easy. I don't know what these kids' problem is.
well, you know, and I'm in the metric.
It's all in multiples of 10.
I'm in the metric system ignorance though. Like I don't know fucking shit about it. Like if I had to suddenly buy a
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 100. That's all you need to know.
well, then I guess I already know the metric system. How's that?
It's just, I don't know. It's a joke I get because do any other countries use the imperial system, or is it just America being awkward?
At this point, it's just us. I mean, there's a few others, but they're like really small countries.
Well, you know what the bullshit reason I always heard too? They're like, oh, it'd take too much money to change everything over. And it's like,
we did it.
Really it?
We nearly did it twice with the euro.
I mean, I was taught it metric system in high school, so I knew both right away.
I was taught it, but I never retained it because I knew I wouldn't need it.
You know,
I mean, I'm sorry. Like,
I get that. And you want to know what? I had a really bad experience once. I
raped by the
I
metric
was
system.
doing a printing. I was doing a printing project, and I did everything in centimeters.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
I took it to a local printing place. And you know what the guy behind the counter had the gall to tell me? In the United States, we use inches. Fuck you, man. Your computers, they convert easy.
Well, what? That was your cue to say, well, here's 1 inch and raise the middle finger.
You missed the obvious dick joke in there, Zach. You gotta say, well, here's 6 inches.
I
and then
couldn't
grab
find
your
a way
crotch.
to fit it into the... Well, here's 6
Here's
inches.
6 inches,
Oh,
and then
hang on, I got my conversion wrong.
Give him the old grab and shake, you know? Suck it! Gotta be mean with those guys, Jim. You can't take their guff.
I really needed those Blu-ray covers printed, though.
Oh my god.
You know what? He knew he could give you shit. He knew he knew that you needed him more than he needed you. In America, we use inches. What a shithead. What a jerk.
You're just punching it into Photoshop, dick ass. It's not that hard.
So the ladies are beating the shit out of more Dimension X flunkies. Monster dongs going everywhere. They're
Is that fish lips, by the way? Panel 2.
Nope. Just happens.
It looks like him.
The butt uglies.
Just as Dimension X counterpart.
Yep, that's it. The butt uglies happen to look like those dudes. And then, you know, I'm coming back. You sound. I just want to say, Jim, look at Malcolm's chin pubes. They're coming in already.
Oh, yep, I see pubes.
They're coming in already.
The hilarious
What if
thing
he's
is, says that's probably not by choice. He's just been uprooted and he just doesn't have a razor.
Doesn't have time. No time. So basically, though, they're getting introduced to the neighborhood. I gotta tell you, this is gonna be a damn different experience than Chicago. Like just the neighborhood that she's describing, hipsters, vegan markets.
Oh god, it's Manchester. Oh no.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know shit about Manchester, but I do know.
I live there. It's hipsters galore.
I just know that like what she's describing is really different than Chicago. Like,
Surely Pittsburgh must have its gentrified areas.
Pittsburgh does have gentrified areas, although for the most part, Pittsburgh's pretty fucking straight-laced. Like, this is more Joe Blow than hipster. Like, you're not going to find skinny jeans in anywhere near the volume that you would. It's ironic because I moved from Asheville to Asheville, North Carolina, up to Pittsburgh, and like in a lot of ways, it seems a lot less. Like, I mean, people are less tolerant here, and it's a like, you know, if you're vegan, you'll get mocked. Like, it's a lot less of that here than it is other places. And so,
I see.
Steel Town, baby. The Steel Town. We're much more like Savage Dragon Chicago. There's this whole desolated, destroyed place full of mutants. You just don't go.
That sounds like my hometown.
That's it. And you know what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying, like, think about, just let us sink in that we're talking about, like, potentially the setting for the book for the next, like, 4 to 8 years. And that's a huge difference. Like, that's a pretty dramatic tonal shift.
Do you reckon he'll stick around in Toronto for 4 to 8 years? Or is he going to find some way to make his way back to America and probably Chicago anyway?
Well, think about it. The kids...
We'll see.
The kids are going to be in school, right?
Yep.
So the kids,
well, no, they're still young. I mean, they're still under 5.
Yeah, but if we're talking 8 years, if you're talking 8,
may not want to pull them out of school at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, if you're talking, well, just as far as moving around, like, I don't see the book doing a world tour. I don't know. I mean, shit, anything can happen. But I'm saying
they could be on the run through the galaxy for all we know.
yeah. Like, it literally. I mean, like, we're fucking completely speculating. But I'm saying, like, if the kids are in school in Canada, you really don't have a huge motivation to just move all over, right?
Maybe they'll get Franklin Richard.
Huh?
And get aged up via time travel by their grandfather.
You know, in the old comics he drew as a kid, that shit happened. So,
really?
You never know. Like, wouldn't that be incredibly weird?
So here's a panel, splash page, that Erik posted on his Facebook in advance.
Hold on. Before you do that, I just want to throw one last thing out there. Burger's Priest is real. And if you go to their website, their food looks fucking awesome. Like, now we'll go to the splash.
To Google.
Yeah, theburgerspriest.com. Just check it out. It looks fucking great.
Apparently, Erik was like... What was the word I'm looking for? He was hating himself for laying out this splash page.
This is a great splash page, dude.
Thing is, though, this is a good example of his looser line art.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of thing that I think what he did on Spawn was a lot like this.
Oh, yeah.
Very open lines, thin lines, minimal hatching.
I think you can expect Ant to look like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what the last issue of his Supreme run looked like.
Look at Jackson taking a drink out of the solo cup.
Who's gonna stop him?
That's hilarious.
He's got a healing factor. He's fine.
Here's a little insider baseball for you cats and kittens out there in listener land. So it's no secret, on the FINcast, we get a digital advance copy so that we can, check it out.
I missed mine this month, but there we go.
The back of the girl's dress.
Oh.
Thunderhead, right?
Yeah.
So the funny thing is in the digital version, the preview we got, that was colored straight up like Thunderhead.
Right.
And in the print version, the final print version, he's purple with like magenta eyes.
I'm gonna guess Erik said, "Huh."
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Kevin started his own clothing line.
yeah,
Probably
exactly.
We color this.
I love it. But it's also
I just noticed it and I was going, "Huh." I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it though. It's funny, a funny little thing. I also like the fact that like it's clearly a skull like grabbing ass.
Yes.
Rudy Scooty, Kevin coming for the booty.
Maybe that's what he drew, and then he colored it like Kevin on a lark
Uh-huh.
to see who noticed, and then colored it the way he intended.
Well, when it was Kevin Blue, it stood out like a motherfucker.
It's very obviously Kevin.
Yeah, your eyes went like right to it. But like the way it's colored now, you could easily like overlook it because it kind of goes in with their dress. It was just a funny Easter egg. I also like the fact that the dog is chasing Amy around, like, in the scenes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a nice,
Good way to lose a dog.
it's a nice touch. But no, dude, look at the facial hair and the way these kids are dressed and shit. Hipsters, bro. Hipsters.
I'm just worried about this one really drunk guy. Who do you think he just wears that Canada flag everywhere?
Which one? Where?
Wait, where are you talking?
Not the splash
Right.
page, the page afterwards.
Oh, the ever been with a real man guy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What if this turns out to be Captain Canuck, you know? Just...
I like the fact that you have somebody that would have the fucking balls to try and, like, cockblock Malcolm. Like, can you imagine, like, seeing this enormous green dude and being like, I'm gonna move in on his girl? Because it makes sense for the drunk guy, right?
Right.
But then the other guy, a panel later,
I can take him.
the other guy, a panel later, clearly sober. The one Maxine's laughing at.
Look at the size of her mouth.
It's great,
She
dude.
looks like a Peanuts character.
I love it. Lips gone, just laughing. Nah, it's good, dude. It's good stuff. I love this whole party sequence. He hated it.
What's its importance?
He hated it.
I
and I
actually-
loved it.
Who hated it?
Eric.
Oh, making it. He hated making it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of all these kids and their clothing.
The perspective too.
Well, that couldn't have... Yeah, that was probably a big challenge. He nailed it, though.
Nailed it. Nailed the shit out of it.
Forgot to put a Waldo in, though.
Waldo. No John Day either. John Day don't make the cut.
Did John Day make the issue?
He was in the SOS lab at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, he was getting carted away with the other scientists. Well, it's good though. It's good. I like this scene a lot. I like this whole sequence a lot. Dude, I'm sorry. Also, too, I'm gonna give props to Maxine's joke about radios from a shack, pizzas from a hut, and dresses from a barn.
Yeah.
That shit's funny. That's good
agree
dialogue.
with that. We have a store called Dress Barn here, Zach. You see?
Oh, yeah?
And
yeah.
for some mysterious reason, women continue to frequent Dress Barn. You wouldn't think any woman would ever be caught dead in a dress purchased from Dress Barn.
You know, that just sounds like we have a similar thing with a branch here called Primark, and it's like the stuff they sell there is crap, but it's cheap. So women keep shopping there periodically, and even though everybody slags Primark off, it still does. Yeah, it sounds like the same thing.
It's like Value City. I don't think I know one person who loves Value City, but for some reason, Value City fucking has staying power where Sears is shutting down. Like Sears and Kmart are going under, and Value City's just fine. It's a mystery, dude. It's bizarre.
It's like I don't really get all the jokes about the clotheslines from Target, but, you know, I guess I'd have to be there to get it.
Is that in this issue? Did I miss it?
No, there's nothing about Target in here, but just while we're on the subject of, like, clothing branches and stuff, it's clothing stores, it's... I don't know. That Target seems to be the one everybody comes up as the butt of the joke, and I'm like, I don't get it.
You know, I guess the joke is, the thing is if you shop at any of those big box stores, you're going to have a generic look. Only because everybody, like,
He's wearing them.
shops, yeah, everybody goes to, still, like, if you've ever done that, and there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes, like, Walmart has good shit, so you'll go in there and you'll be like, oh, that's cool. Just know that if you buy the cool thing at Walmart or Target, fucking get prepared.
Everyone has it, yeah.
Yeah, get prepared to see 70 motherfuckers in that same shirt. So, that's the joke, pretty much. I gotta say, I love this panel of Maxine just standing on Malcolm's face. What a hilariously weird thing. Like a cat. You know how your cat will like wake you up by like walking on your face?
My cat can't stand My cat can't stand to be on me.
Really?
So no. Yeah, she's a weird one. She doesn't like being picked up, so she doesn't like walking on me.
Oh my god, dude. Most cats, like, fucking, you can't keep them off of you. They're, like, fucking all over you.
I mean, I've had cats that do that, but not my current cat.
My cat used to scratch my face. And, like, my lips specifically. Like, it fucking knew. Like, I'd be asleep, and I just feel, like, a little claw on my lips. Not, like, mean, like a scratch, but, like, you know how they, like, knead your flesh? Like dough?
Yes.
I'm saying that's what I get from this Maxine panel. Is like she's like walking on his face, like kneading his face with her toes. It's fucking hilarious.
She's got good balance, I'll give her that.
Maxine rocking the natural 70s bush.
I was wondering if you're going to bring that up.
Come on, Jim. How was I not gonna? Well, good for her. That's all I'm saying. Good for her. And the other thing I have to bring up, she goes for the Kevin threesome.
Yeah. No offense, but you'd think that'd just be weird because they're brothers.
You know, I know you're gonna laugh, dude, but I've known brothers that would do shit like that.
I know.
The finger cuffs, the high five over top of the girl, like... I'm saying there's different brothers in this world, dude. Like, me and my brother, I couldn't fucking stand to, like, even hear him tell a story. I'd be like, dude, shut up. Gross. You're my...
Gross.
I'd be like, you're my brother. I never want to hear any fucking thing you ever do in your life. And yet, I'll talk to, like, brothers, and they'll be like, yeah, man, so we were, like, tag teaming this chick. And I'm like, oh, my God. Are you fucking serious? So...
Yeah, no pseudo-incestual undertones whatsoever.
Hey, you know, it's not gay when it happens in a three-way. I'm just saying. There's a whole song.
No, Raven, it is.
There's a whole song.
It is really gay, even if you do it in a threesome.
With the honey in the middle, there's some leeway. It's a whole song.
Wouldn't be a sandwich without two slices of bread.
There you go. That's it. No, I think it's funny that she
still
even
gay.
I think it's funny that she went there, but the funnier thing is the way that the dialogue rolls. She brings it up. Like, she doesn't just, like, it isn't just a thing she asks Malcolm. She says...
Oh, no. Do you think she's been having this conversation with Kevin? Just kind of, right, okay, I'll suggest it to him, but no promises.
Well, see, that's what's so funny, is because the way it reads, she says to Kevin, it's a no-no on the threesome. I tried my best to persuade Malcolm, believe me, he can be so stubborn. And then the next thing Thunderhead says...
He doesn't even respond. It's like, okay.
See, but that's what's so funny, is he is changing gears and ignoring her, but the way I read it, he goes, is it just us then? And the first thing I thought that it was I was like, whoa, is he talking about banging Maxine? Like, just him and Maxine? Like, what the fuck? But he's talking about moving.
Oh, no, I see it now.
I totally misread that as, like, Kevin being like, oh, is it just us then?
If he had eyelids, he would wink.
Exactly. So, it's just me and you then, huh? Sorry, bro.
Stares blankly Skeletor style.
We tried to include you. I love it. It's hilarious.
The entire neighborhood turns out to help.
Even Doc Brown.
Because in Canada, everyone's polite.
Well, it's a funny joke, you know, the polite Canadians.
This is where what if in this universe, in the Dragon universe or in the Savage World universe, the invasion of the Body Snatchers actually succeeded, but just stayed in Canada?
They're just nice people. They're just better than us Americans.
They're replicants. They're not real.
Now, what's cool too, a nice little touch, is that there are actually people from the party here. So, like, some of these people that show up to help move were at the party. So that's just kind of a cool touch, I thought.
That's cute.
Just a nice little nod. And then, of course, you know, end comic. Is the ladies, they finally realize they're stuck here at this point.
Well,
interesting synergy where Malcolm and Maxine have realized, oh, we're going to be here a while Alex, Jennifer, and Angel have also realized the same thing.
Yeah, it is a nice juxtaposition. Also, the monster on the top of the heap there has giant nipples. I think is hilarious. It's a funny touch.
I would prescribe Vaseline for that.
No, and another thing too, if you didn't, and I just want to give a shout out to the letters column, because sometimes is on the digital version. Do you bros get the letters column?
No, I mean yes,
you do.
Yes, right. You got it, Zach.
Yeah, I got it, but I bought this issue, so it's it's got the letters anyway.
I'm not looking at my purchase issue.
Okay, 4 pages of letters, and they're awesome. And again, I got some shout-outs in them, so thank you guys.
I can't read them because I'm looking at it on my monitor.
Raven, you said there's 4 pages of letters?
There's 4 pages of letters.
The way Eric's always saying, make sure you write in, I would have thought less.
Well, that's what's cool, and that's what I want to say, is I'm just giving these people... For one, okay, I want to give a shout out. It's good letters. Like, I don't know, a lot of people, like, maybe they do or maybe they don't read the letters column, but like, for one, you should read the letters column because they're awesome. They actually are good letters. They're long letters, and they bring up interesting points and thoughts. But also too, Erik responds to them and stuff. But also too, you'll learn stuff that you maybe didn't know or appreciate. Like, the FINcast gets a shout-out, too. I thought you'd appreciate that, Jim.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they say about me? How handsome I am?
Just that they love the FINcast. But, like, how handsome you... Got a face for radio, that Jim Purcell.
Hang on, I'm going to zoom in here. You dirty, lying skanky. Hang on.
But this had a art experiment that you might not have realized unless it was pointed out to you. I certainly did not. But yeah, if you flip through the issue, every page had panels the same size, and no 2 pages could be the same, like, side by side. So if you flip through, then knowing that, it's kind of funny because it's like one of those art experiments that you would have missed, but once you flip back through, you're like, oh yeah, okay, fucking there it is. Yeah, there's the different layouts. So
this probably ties into his talking about panel layouts a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
because he talked all about, like, what's every combination of a 9-panel grid.
Yeah.
Look at all these useless ones that go in a circle and go nowhere. Cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty informative Facebook chat.
It's good
overall.
It's good. I like it. I'm super down. I just want to give a shout out to the letters column only because I think it's kick ass. I hope more people write in. He said that he pretty much prints everything he gets these days because writing is really low. Like, writing's really down. So
right, he said that. So I assumed that would be the case, which is why I was surprised at 4 pages.
Yeah, no, that's what's cool. Like, that's what's awesome. Like, to me, I read the issue, I read the backups, and then when I'm, sitting around, like, I read the letters too. So it's cool. I really hope that people continue to send letters. You can email them in as well. Like, and in fact, he said that's ideal because he can just copy and paste your letter then. So yeah, man, like, please, like, listeners who read and, like, please continue to write into Savage Dragon. Like, your letters are awesome and appreciated. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the letter writer bros. Backups. You know what I like seeing in the backups?
G-Man?
Fuck yeah.
This is a pretty good one. I could swear I've read this one before, but I can't recall where.
If you follow Chris G on his website, on Facebook, he posts these to Facebook.
Okay.
So it's possible.
I hadn't seen them before, so yeah.
G-Man is a webcomic now. So
Nice.
it's entirely possible that you may have seen these, but like this was the first time I had seen them. I thought this shit was great. I really hope that like there's more G-Man backups from here on out. Especially
I wonder if
Foot
Rob
Force.
Liefeld will see this and go, okay, I'm just going to draw feet from now on.
Well, it's like the thing says, he draws feet. He just doesn't draw them all the time.
As you shouldn't.
It's good. It's good stuff. Love G-Man. Love this double-page spread, which was prepared in time for 225, but just 225 is too
Didn't make the cut.
jam-packed.
It's pretty nice. I do find it especially amusing that, yeah, the Prism characters have come back on like one occasion. All the Dragon characters have been around for a while, except for this weird half-faced guy up at the top, who I actually remember seeing in like a Facebook comment, Erik saying that some just don't make the cuts.
He was like a Martian Manhunter type.
By the looks of it, yeah. I think he was actually called Half-Face or something like that. I don't know.
It's cool, though.
And then there's the Firehawk characters, which poor Firehawk characters lost to the mists of time.
Ironhawk.
There, I can't even get his goddamn name right. That's how obscure he is.
I kind of like them because they seem kind of Sentai-esque, but I think they're more supposed to be Metalmen.
That is my impression, yes. But I do, now you say it's Sentai, yeah, I see it.
But like just like Killcat and Kid Avenger, like Powerhouse, like Star, Battle Tank, just seeing all these dudes, just like
Wow,
even
Battle Tank are
Dart.
different. In fact, yeah, I actually got into a conversation about the Battle Tank design with Erik on Facebook because I didn't recognise him at first.
With the more,
Tankish
design.
look, yeah.
Just kind of cool.
It's very cool. And some have hardly changed. Justice hardly changed.
Yeah, look at Mako in his
Tiger
submariner
Star.
shorts.
Well, that's not Justice. That is Super Patriot.
Super Patriot, of course.
Just before he got chewed up by Mako and rebuilt by Project Born Again.
It's good. It's good stuff, my man. I love it. Love it. So I'm down with it. And of course, you've got the guide, like on the following page. If you're curious at all, you got your guide there. Zeke, like, all these dudes. So it's cool. It's just kick ass. It's kick ass to see this stuff. Would you hate to be the character doing the dishes on the pinup, and then like everyone else is just chilling out in the kitchen, and you're doing the dishes?
These are all like supporting characters, I suppose.
Yeah. Lesser.
Although that one woman appears to be the spider-crested woman from the...
And Mace is there.
Yeah, Mace is there. Isn't he smiling?
Smiley
That's
Mace.
creepy.
And the guy in the foreground, that's Animal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Little angel
Yes.
reading comics underneath. It's good. It's good shit.
It's
And
nice retro.
Lastly, the funnies.
Which I haven't actually read yet, so I should probably glance.
So, I actually, once we get through the first strip, when we get to Rumrow, I got some stuff to talk about.
Ooh.
I have all the answers.
Really?
All of them. Every single one.
Well, as usual, I love Brandon Draw. That shit is gold, dude. It's every time. Every time it's funny. I mean, it's well drawn and it's funny, so... Brandon B., you the man. Rumrow.
So what did you think of Rumrow Strip 2?
It had that problem that we talked about.
Same problem as last time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it turns out I accidentally, like, a few years ago, got the one-shot that this is based on. It's called Rumrow.
Okay.
So, what the premise is, what the strips here have not explained at all, is that it's an alternate 1920s, where instead of the speakeasies going underground, they go up on airships in the air.
Okay.
And Rumrow is basically where all the airships hang out above New York City, that the FBI can't infiltrate because they're on airships.
Whoa.
So it's all about air pirates and blimps and 1920s fashion and buildings.
So the thing is that is awesome and kicks ass. Like, that's a great concept, and this art is really, really good. Like, I like this art. The coloring is good. The action, like, you know, the dialogue, the zoom in on the eye, like, all this stuff is really, really good. Like, this is top-notch comic making. It just has that problem that we talked about, where in a strip format, once a month, it just kind of hurts it. Like, it suffers. It suffers only getting, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what do we get? 6 panels? It just really suffers giving us 6 panels once a month of any continuing thing. Whereas your one-off joke-style strips, like Draw Brand and Draw, like, obviously there's no, you know, investment needed. You don't... So, I don't know. It's rough. It's kind of got the exact same uphill struggle as Night Watchman. And remember,
Right.
what was ironic is we bitched about Night Watchman, and by the time it was done, like, I actually, like, started to be okay, and, like, Night Watchman really, like, landed with me, like, really well. I was like, okay, I get it. It's actually, I get this. But, yeah, man, like you said, I mean, like, that world you described, Jim, sounds awesome, dude. That sounds great.
Yeah. So there was a whole, like, 32-page one-shot. I don't know if it ever came out in print, but it's definitely on Comixology. And I just happened to have it. And I was surprised to see it because I had forgotten I'd got it in some free pack of books sometime in the past.
Well,
Because it was one of those creator-owned self-published books.
sadly, there's just not much you can do about
Right.
something like that. I mean, really, like...
Imagine if you were putting one page of Raven's Dojo in here every month.
Yeah, it just wouldn't. That would be the hardest shit in the world to make people care. Like, it would be the hardest thing in the world. I couldn't do it. Like, I don't have the skill to pull it off. So,
Please don't butcher my baby.
so no, I'm just saying it's really difficult. Like, maybe, here's the thing. You remember the Savage Dragon backups that, when there were, like, you know, what, 6, 7 pages as a backup?
Yeah.
Like, if there were 6 or 7 pages of Rum Row every month, that I could, like, digest. But when it's like 6
Yeah, that's
panels,
a proper ongoing backup. So, yeah.
yeah, when it's 6 panels, it's just hard, dude. It's real hard. I don't even know what to say. So,
Well, do you remember way back when they were doing the Megaton strip?
yes.
And that was like 2 pages every month.
Mm-hmm.
When I started reading, that was like mid-run when I started reading Savage Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that strip at all because I didn't have like any like background with it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand. Is this part of Savage Dragon? What is this about? It was even weirder because it was like in this period where all the characters had merged together to become amalgamations of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it was even more complex.
Right.
But I can imagine reading this is a very similar experience if you don't have any context whatsoever.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, this is part 2, and like, we literally had no.
Still haven't told
fucking
us
clue.
anything about this world or what they're really doing. They just said the word Rum Row like you were supposed to know what that means.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that it's real. It's a huge challenge, and again, the action is cool. Like, you know, they're getting shot and then they're going down. It's like, it is good action. Like, there's good stuff happening, but man, that's a tough row to hoe. So, my hats off to you, Rumrow. Good, valiant effort, but damn, you're falling into Night Watchman trap right now as we speak.
Basically, if you're going to make a one-page comic for a monthly book,
Mm-hmm.
either you need to have do the one-off joke like what the other comic does, or you need to pace it so that you tell a whole story within that page.
If you think about it, even Savage Dilbert accomplished that, where, like you said, every month it was like, but-dump, there's the joke. But then, like, you did have building jokes and humor from month to month.
Sure.
Like they would have
Well,
characters. And...
Jim will know this. Is 2000 AD has a thing called Droid Life, where it's like every 4 issues there's a 4-5 panel comedy strip. It has reoccurring characters and so on. So it has reoccurring jokes. It's
but
not
each one is its own joke.
Yeah. It's always on the editorial page. So yeah, that kind of stuff, it does work. But if it's a comedy one and done, you can have reoccurring jokes. But if you're trying to tell like an action narrative or an ongoing storyline, it just having 6 panels a month does not work.
I mean, and it's the per month problem, because if you
Yes.
even if you did it per week like Prince Valiant used to do, or something like that, it almost works because it's consistent enough that you don't forget it.
Well, so many webcomics do that. So many webcomics only update once a week.
Well, it's funny though. It's not even like a matter of like memory. Like as soon as we read it, we remember these guys are in a dogfight and everything. But it's just like, and this to its credit is better than Night Watchman, because Night Watchman was moving like incredibly slow. Like there were so many strips of the Mad Baker baking that cake, and then finally he made it to the event, and it's like already like these guys are getting shot down the second time we see them. So already like it's moving. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. We'll see. Like, it's really... Like, can we really get hooked 6 panels once a month? We'll see. It doesn't matter. It's free. It's bonus content anyway. It's just a commentary on, how we relate to it.
And who knows, like, where this was supposed to appear originally, or what its intent was. Is it a webcomic being reprinted? We don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're like talking about this like it's some big like for Savage Dragon thing. I just think as a backup, it's a little bit of a harder sell, just because it's hard to. I don't know. Yeah, but again, as long as it moves along faster, that's really, I guess, what you need too. Is you just need shit to move. Like the next month, they should be like crashed and on to the next thing they're gonna do. Like it shouldn't be next month. It shouldn't just be that they crash. Like they need to crash and then also get some other thing accomplished.
Right.
It's fine. It's all good. So overall, the issue 227. How you guys feeling?
Excellent. For an issue that doesn't have a lot of action, and what action it has is kind of separated from your main character, I think it's pretty good.
Yep. I'll agree with that.
For an issue that's almost like pure 100% setup, both in Dimension X and in Canada, it's a very good start. Excellent start. Really looking forward to seeing how it progresses from here. How long will it be until we see Angel, Jennifer, and Alex again? Whether it'll be carried on next issue will be interesting indeed. But as for the primary story, the A-side, the whole Canada thing is fascinating. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that.
Agreed.
Next month? Yeah. Yep. Very, very excellent, I think.
As a bridge issue, which I saw somebody refer to it, I was like, yep, it's a bridge issue. But as a bridge issue, even though it was a bridge issue, it still was very entertaining and had a lot of good, like, comedy and action and, good, like, killer splash page here and there. And so, yeah, that's top-notch, like, fucking awesome. Toronto. I really can't wait to see what the hell happens, like, because, again, the setting is just so different. And Jim, you made the point, the setting is so different for both, like, Malcolm and, like, the Angel crew. Like,
right,
both of them are in completely different. Because you kind of wondered, it was like, was Chicago going to be, like, were we going to keep Chicago in the book with, like, Angel and Thunderhead and all that stuff? I mean, technically, there's no real reason to focus on Chicago at all, technically.
Right, there's nothing there. Kevin just lost his job. Maybe he's not going back.
Yeah. I don't know. It's good.
He'll kit out on the dragon's sofa.
It's good stuff. Top notch. I like it. I like it a lot. Zach, we're going to do something a little different in honor of you being on your first FINcast in a good long while. Why don't you give us the preview for the next Savage Dragon?
Indeed, I shall. Issue 228, Solicitation. Oh, Canada, Part 2, Relocated to Great White North. Dragon faces a number of new challenges, a new job, a new home, a new life, and the return of the enigmatic villain, the Seeker. At long last, all his secrets are revealed. This one comes with our highest possible recommendation. I'm sure it comes with our recommendation too, to be honest, even though we've not read it yet. I want it already.
See, so Zach failed the way I failed.
In which way? How dare you say I fail, Mr. Perez, without elaborating?
Oh, Canada. Don't you think there was a way that you should have read that? I'm just busting your chops because Jim and Craig ate me alive.
Oh,
last
Canada,
time.
put it in my ass.
Apparently, that's the national anthem of Canada. Oh, Canada.
Something, something, something.
We love mooses and niceness. No, I don't know. But, like...
you still have to honor our queen, you know. Keep paying our taxes.
She's on money.
That's
what they didn't. That's what they didn't reference in this issue. Loonies.
Is that the nickname for Canadian money?
That's the nickname for Canadian dollar coins because they have a duck loony. They have geese on them.
Loonies. That's fucking weird. How is a goose a loony?
Hold on a second. I might be wrong about that. I gotta do my research.
Well, while you're researching, I got a bit of... While you're researching...
they might have loons on them. That makes more sense.
I got a bit of tid for you. A Canadian reader wrote in and said that being topless is legal for ladies in Toronto. So, I'm just saying.
Is that illegal in America?
It's illegal in a lot of places. There's some places that have legal...
No, it's pretty much legal here.
Well, they have
Nobody
a loon
does it
on
because
the
it's fucking crazy.
And the queen. As the queen and the loon.
So,
The loony.
that makes more sense.
They're also like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're also 9-sided. They're
Oh, they got a weird little, like,
they're not round.
nonagon coin?
Something like that.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
are your coins round?
Yeah.
All our coins
Oh,
have sides. Oh,
Really?
yeah. All
So
of
they
them.
don't roll?
The pound used to be, but like 3 months ago we got a new one. That's got, fuck, I'm gonna have to...
You don't have paper pounds?
We we don't have paper pounds. We used to have paper pounds. Now the only parts of the UK that have paper pound notes are Guernsey and Jersey, which are not part of the UK anyway. They're just crown dependencies.
I see.
So, how many sides does a new pound have? I'm just looking. It
This
has...
instead of the Savage FINcast, this has been the cultural
the Savage
difference
Currency Cast. The
Yeah.
Cultural Difference Cast.
This is
You
the
uneducated plebs. 1, 2, 3.
This is the cultural difference cast.
It has 10 sides.
This
There,
is
that's
bizarre.
something that I didn't need to know.
You know what a Canadian told me once? He told me, he said, "Oh, I think it's really hard. Your money, American money, really throws me for a loop because it's all the same color." And I said, "What?"
Yeah.
I said, "What?" She said, it was a her. She said, yeah, you know, in Canada, all our money's different colors, eh? So we just look at it and we just know from the color what it is. But in America, all your money's just green and white. So, and I was like, I said, it's why it's got that number on it.
Yeah. Fuck you, Raven.
Total dick. I couldn't even. I was like, that's why it's got a number on it, dummy. It's like,
Some countries go even farther and their bills are different sizes. So that you can tell what they are by touch.
Oh yeah, this is the weird thing that I've not adjusted to, because now we've got these the new plastic notes. The sizes are also different.
Don't put those to the dryer.
Well, they actually survive better than the paper ones.
They don't crinkle up like Shrinky Dinks?
weird. Plastic money?
It's laminated, so whether there's something... I don't fucking know.
I know some countries
I'm not
have like
cutting one open.
plastic windows for the hologram.
Oh,
You can, like,
ours
see
have
through.
ours have windows.
Oh, they do.
Does it have a hologram
The new
in
ones
it?
do. Yeah, if you tilt it towards the light, you can see London Bridge.
Oh, that's fucking weird, dude.
It's another security feature. It's probably harder to copy than most most ways we use.
There's been no way to copy them yet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, because that would be like a hologram in the plastic window that's probably got all kinds of like microscopic text written in it.
Oh my god. This is fucking the craziest FINcast end of all, where we discuss money differences.
International. I mean, this is a great podcast. I'm practically Canadian. Zach's British, and you're, Southern.
I'm Southern as fuck and don't know anything. You know, I'm just saying, like... Oh, is that how hillbilly sound?
Is that how I think
the good germs! I could start talking about the Euro if you like.
Oh, that's great.
It's fucked.
That's fantastic. So you do know that, like, I'm gonna have one of our Canadian friends on the show. We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna ask them what they think.
We're gonna have the talk.
Now,
son.
We're gonna be like, so what do you think of all this madness? How's this affecting you? You gotta think, it's cool. I think it's cool and weird. We're really, like... If you think about how bizarre it is, because, like, other superhero books, like, fucking Batman's not leaving Gotham. And Superman's not leaving Metropolis. So just imagine how it would be to, like, you're reading a superhero book and he moves. For one, that's weird. But for two, he moves to, like, your country.
I mean, with fictional cities, easier. I mean, if you wanted to move it, you just move the whole city. Just say it was always in Canada.
They would never do that, though. I'm just saying, like, Gotham's in America. And Metropolis is in America, too.
May or may not be in Jersey. It moves around a bit.
It's just one of those things. I'm just thinking it's so
weird. Yeah, and doesn't
weird
the DC universe... So I was going to say, doesn't the DC universe, like, change its president every other week?
They have a fake president. I don't think they do real presidents. I think they're like President Bob Holloway, or they just make some shit up. Like, I don't think they do real...
Well, Lex Luthor was president.
Yeah. So
President
again,
John Doe.
They're scared. They don't want to embrace the anger. Reader anger. They don't want to deal with reader anger.
You couldn't get away with that. You couldn't get away with that in the UK. Like, we literally had a comic where where Prime Minister Tony Blair was turned into a cyborg. You couldn't get away with it. You know the one I'm talking about, don't you?
We don't speak of Blair 1.
Blair 1 was amazing. What are you talking about?
So,
it goes in the pile with Big Dave.
Big Dave was also amazing. What are you talking about?
I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that this is like talking about like bold new directions. Like, if it sticks with this for 4 years, I mean,
Erik might even move to Canada.
We know that Savage Dragon averages 10 issues a year easy, so that's like 40 issues. So that means that by the time the book is going to be like 267 before potentially... I mean, again, it could be 8 years. It could be a whole lot more. But, like, potentially, like...
It could be the rest of our lives.
Yeah, think about it. Like, the book could stay in Canada till issue 267. Or if it goes 8 years, let's see, 80 plus 227...
It's after 300.
Oh, yeah. If Trump gets 2 terms and he really keeps it in Canada for that long, then it could be all the way up to issue 307 before the book could potentially come back to America. That's fucking crazy, dude. I don't know. It's just cool. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing shit.
It's like when Mark and Eve went to space.
Yeah. And you think about it, like, after they went to space, there just wasn't really stories about Earth anymore, hardly.
Right.
So, it's fucking crazy, like... just... I don't know, it's cool. I'm just saying, Savage Dragon, man. That's what it's all about. Giant balls to tell the stories you want to tell.
Boom.
Well, thanks for listening.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait till the next issue.
I know.
Finally, we can find out what the heck the Seeker is.
I know, Jim. I want to know.
Maybe there's a magical girl inside.
Your anticipation has been building for this shit. Didn't you say that this was the equivalent of your, like, Malcolm and the Astronaut?
in some ways. I mean, that's, only if, we get answers. If there's no answers, then it could be 105 all over again.
According to the copy, all his secrets are revealed. So if there's not answers, oh baby, there'll be a savage, fiery, hot take cast.
The armor falls off and reveals Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater.
Jim, what would be disappointing to you for this Seeker reveal?
Just some random robot, and that's it. Also, if he dies.
If he
don't
dies?
kill the Seeker.
Dude,
don't kill the
Seeker,
Seeker, Eric. Don't kill the Seeker, Eric.
You know... you know he's fucking dying, dude.
I don't know anything of the sort, Raven.
Oh, he's a dead man, dude.
He's going to become a regular recurring character, and he'll live forever.
Oh, he's a goner. He's a goner. He's dead for sure. Like, it's definitely happening. I see.
But yes, I would be most disappointed if he winds up being just some random cyberface robot that's just been running around all these years and gets his head knocked off and he's done.
The brain.
I want him to be somebody.
The brain of Antonio Seghetti.
Wasn't there a theory going around that he was like during what's his name? Khan's rule. He was like his operative or something, and then after he died, he transferred his conscious to it.
You mean when Cyberface was
Cyberface? Thank you. Yeah.
Oh well, I think there was a theory that he put his brain inside Wally, but that wound up not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because Wally killed him in the end. Because he was afraid he was going to get taken over by Cyberface.
Yeah, he just had to take
it was when Wally killed Cyberface, everyone thought that Wally had been taken over by Cyberface.
That never went anywhere.
That basically, after a while, that was proven false. Yeah, Wally murdered him, and then...
yeah, but I seem to remember there was like a line or something, it might have been in issue 105, where Dragon was like... I always assumed he worked for Cyberface. Like, what if he did? And then after Cyberface,
died, but now you're talking about the Seeker.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, he was running around chasing Dragon when he was on the run from Cyberface, so it was assumed that he was an operative of Cyberface.
But sadly, we don't know shit about him, really.
Really, and if I remember correctly, when Dragon went to Godtown the first time. He just kind of didn't go in because of the agreement that Cyberface had with the gods. So that was the other assumption as to why he was a Cyberface operative. Because he was following Cyberface's rules.
I'm telling you, dudes. I hope it's everything you want it to be, Jim.
I'm sure I'll find something to bitch about. A tangent somewhere.
I really do. I'm excited for you. What's funny is I have personally no investment. I'm excited for the Seeker's secrets to be revealed, but like, I don't know. Like for me, I don't know why, but that's just never been one of those things that really like I was like, oh, I'm just dying to know. Like I don't know. This never really tore me up inside, not knowing. More.
Some people had a theory that it was somebody seeking vengeance for something that the alternate Dragon, had done.
Uh-huh.
Which is why I thought it might have been Chris Robinson.
Okay.
Seeking revenge over Alex.
Sure.
Which didn't make a lot of sense, but definitely wasn't the case.
Well, plus two, now we got this added wrinkle of, Dragon's gone, and apparently he's still after Malcolm.
Yes, that's true. So that's odd.
So revenge.
Why reappear now is a good question.
Yeah, revenge. It's like, well, I don't know. Do you hate him that bad? You just want revenge against his fucking son? Like,
I gotta remember the context of I think it was 106. Why was he hunting down Santa Claus, or was it just so happened that Dragon was flying around?
Oh. I can't.
Maybe he just been hanging out in the Great White North this whole time.
Yeah, I can't recall. I can't recall that at this time. I'm not going to make a fool of myself by trying. But nah, man, I'm excited. I am excited for 227. It's been a kick-ass year for Savage Dragon.
It has, and hopefully we get at least one more issue before the year's out.
We're gonna get
Yeah, we've
two.
got time.
We're gonna get two.
Two, you say?
Yeah, we're gonna get 228 in November and 229 in December. I'm calling it because there's no reason not to. They're not oversized or anything. And he's taken Ant off his plate, so why not, right?
We shall find out.
Well,
All right.
thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us, Zach. Thanks for filling out the numbers.
Always a pleasure.
Much appreciated.
Always good to have you on. Always better to have 3 than 2.
Oh,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening, everyone. And of course, if you want to find out more about Savage Dragon, you can check out the Erik Larson Savage Dragon Facebook group. Just search for Savage Dragon Erik Larson. You can find us at SavageFINcast.com. And as I said before, we now have a Discord. I'm going to try and put a link on the Savage FINcast website to go, connect you. Otherwise, you can just message me on Facebook or check out the group, Erik Larson Facebook group, and it should have a link in there somewhere.
Additionally, I have links to the Savage FINcast, both Facebook groups, the Discord. All of that is also on dragonfan.net.
Nice.
Dudes, you know what? We're such shitheads. We forgot a critical news item.
Did we?
Yes. SavageDragon.com got an overhaul.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
We are the worst, dude. Heads, listen, thank you for listening for this long, and I'm sorry. We might as well do this next podcast because it deserves it. But Stefan has jumped in, longtime Savage Dragon fan, board members know him, has jumped in and accepted the reins and duties as the web designer for SavageDragon.com. It's been given a complete overhaul. It looks very nice. Please use it. He's worked very hard. It has a blog style format, so it's going to be a little more active and current and popping than the old design was, and that is the forgotten news item. But thank you all. Thank you all for listening.
Thanks again.